Any other intro? Is that good enough?
That's good enough.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, August 24th, 2014. Time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 646.
This is No Agenda.
Monitoring TARP 2.0 from the South Austin Safe House here in FEMA Region 6 in the capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's supposed to be boiling hot and it's not, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
I'm just happy you're alive.
Why?
Oh, if you watch television, all of Northern California is broken.
It is?
There was a 6.0 magnitude earthquake.
Yeah, it was in the morning around 3, supposedly. It didn't wake anybody around here.
No.
It was one of those rollers, which doesn't wake you necessarily. It doesn't. That's not the kind of quake that'll wake you in the middle of the night. It actually puts you deeper to sleep. It's like, rock-a-bye, baby. I've been in a lot of those rollers.
Let's talk about. Yeah, I've been in a couple in L.A. Certainly,
like things are rolling. It's like rolling along.
I mean, now everyone's showing. Is this in wine country? I presume this is.
Yes, it was up in the Napa Valley, wine country.
And I'm seeing people tweeting pictures of entire wineries, all the bottles destroyed. Oh, the travesty!
How do the bottles get on the? Well, okay,
it's possible. And this 6.0 magnitude, it is always important for us to reiterate that this is no longer the Richter scale. If this were a 6.0 on the Richter scale, there would be a lot of dead people.
I think I would have felt it.
Oh, totally. This is
this is the bull crap scale that they make it up as you go along.
Well,
Did you feel anything? Yeah, we'll call it a 6.
That's exactly right. If things fall off the wall, I believe that means it's a 4. And I think 6 is right below. 7 is where you have some real damage. And 6 is powerful, but it has nothing to do with the actual measurement anymore of the Richter scale. This is no longer used. That's why they call it
dropped.
That's why they call it magnitude. And it sounds great, though, because you can really frighten people. 6?
Yeah,
crikey. It was a 6.
So I have a little anecdote about broken bottles.
Okay.
There's a wine store in San Francisco, which I get a lot of my wine from because they have good prices.
Can you divulge the name, or is this the...
Yeah, K&L.
Oh, I know K&L, sure.
And so K&L, they had the big quake in '89, which is the one that shook it was the World Series that was going on. It shook the place and dropped the freeways.
Yeah.
Made a mess.
The Candlestick Park game was happening, right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
That was live, and it was... I remember being in New York, and everyone was like... I was in a recording studio with Joan Jett, of all people.
Oh.
Yeah, and everyone...
That was more interesting. I was actually in Abilene, Texas, of all places. Well, that's because I was always told to go into a safe spot when there's a quake.
And you thought Abilene was close enough?
Seems so. Okay. Whatever the case was, the guys at K&L told me that when the warehouse was decimated by the quake...
decimated. Does that mean only 10% of it was broken?
Yeah, about 10%. Uh-huh. Exactly. Uh-huh. There was... the Bordeaux boxes, which are wooden, and they hold 12 bottles, and the bottles are inside the wooden box with wooden separators, and not one bottle of Bordeaux was destroyed in the shaking, but anything that was in a cardboard box is all busted up. So the old Bordeaux box, the old wooden box with the wooden separators,
the French way.
The French way is the safest way in an earthquake area.
Makes sense.
Although nobody would acknowledge this. I mean, they did it at the store, but I mean, it's like nobody's written this up or even mentioned it except me right now.
So the bottles that I saw that were on the ground
in Napa,
were in a. It looked like they were in a celery storage.
Celery?
Yeah, celery with celery sticks. A cellar, I'm sorry. Cellar storage.
Where are you storing your celery?
Stop pointing the brain weapon at me, CIA. It's confusing me. I'm looking.
Celery storage.
That is already a possible show title.
Yes.
1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. I'm looking at the Book of Knowledge entry. And this, according to the Book of Knowledge, was a 7.1 But that's 7.1 on the moment magnitude scale. So that is compared to this, it is on the same scale. I would like to see a Richter scale.
The Richter. This is dumb, the way they're doing it now, because you can't make real comparisons. And then they say, well, one's a different kind, one's an uplift, and one's an S wave. And they're making all these different kinds.
Is that your scientific voice?
Yeah, that is my new scientific voice.
And S wave. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Okay. Well, anyway, enough of that. What else is going on?
I thought that was. I liked it. I just when all this happens, Molly and Mickey are in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles this weekend. And
why? Oh, you're just going to be trouble. This is trouble.
Of course, it's trouble. Molly, I think. I don't know. I'm not supposed to talk about this.
Why are you married to that guy?
Well,
It's like the standard women's anything.
Exactly.
That's just what they routinely say. Their moms teach them.
Let me just ask you, was that your Molly Wood voice? I just want to make sure we've got everything straight. Why you made that guy? He's nothing but he's an asshole. He just stays at home. No agenda. At least he's cynical.
No agenda. A bunch of right-wing nuts.
Okay. Stop. No. Mickey wanted to visit a few people in L.A., and she's flying Monday to Amsterdam, and I'm flying Monday from here, so we're kind of connecting sometime on Tuesday. And
on Monday you're flying?
Monday I'm flying, correct.
Okay.
And
I'm writing this down.
Please write that down. And one of the... so Molly, I think, had asked Mickey to be her date for a pre-Emmy party in... the Beverly Hills or the Hollywood Hills or some mansion,
Gee, I wonder how many pre-Emmy parties there are. Probably thousands.
I don't think thousands, but there are certainly a number of them. And some are better than others. And this was, from what I understand, this was a party from some Silicon Valley guy who has a house there. Or maybe he's an L.A. Silicon Valley guy.
Well, I know who it was.
You know who it was?
No, I'd like to know.
I don't know. I was not informed.
We should ask.
And from what I understand, emails went out to everyone. So Molly was invited to this, and emails went out to everybody. No photos, no social media. Hush, hush. Hush, 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 hush.
Yeah, now I really want to know what douchebag it is.
And I
Get my douchebag list out, and I'll give you the point scale.
And I said to Mickey, this can't be any good. This can't. Any party that is worth having in Los Angeles, you got to have people falling into pools off of canyon cliffs. You got to have cops. You got to have it's got to be all over social media. So I don't know. I don't know. I will have a report.
Just to give you a feeling of this kind of thing, I have a small clip.
Oh boy.
Now, normally, if you remember, I once decided to cover for the show the AVN Awards,
the Adult Video Network. Is it network?
Yeah, or something. No, it's Nation. I don't know what it is. It's Adult Video something.
Yeah, it's an Oscars for porn.
And this is the worst show ever. And it's very profane. And these girls are it's just really a shame that they represent them.
It's kind of
the whole
sad.
industry
it's
with
sad.
the stupidest, dumb sounding women. And I'm going to play a small clip.
It's sad. It's sad
of the two hosts. These are the two women that are hosting the event. And they bring them on stage after a ribald comic, a woman who was pretty funny, comes on stage, and she just essentially ridicules men.
Can I just ask you, is this from this year's award ceremony?
Yes, it's from it's the one that just this week they're running them on Showtime or someplace.
And may I ask you why there was no text message, Adam, turn on Showtime?
It's on. They play it over and over again.
I don't want. You need to alert me to these things.
Believe me, you can't watch it.
Okay, and you did. So you jumped on the grenade.
I watched it, yeah. I only pulled this little bit out just to show you what you'd have to deal with on a long-term basis with a lot more profanity. I took actually a record-breaking moment where I think they went a minute. How long is that clip?
51 seconds.
51 seconds without cussing like a truck driver. But how hot they are, these two women.
Excited to be here.
No, we're not that excited.
Not really.
Of course we're excited. Are you excited to be here, guys?
That sounds like Natalie Morris.
That's right. We have a great show planned for you tonight with a lot of fabulous entertainment.
That's right. That's Mark Stone and DJ Star. They'll be playing original music all night. Tyga is going to be back out here in just a little bit with another song for you. And tonight, live on this very stage, we are going to be treated to a very special performance by Zoomanity, the sensual side of Circus Soleil.
That's going to be so hot and so cool, and I can't wait to see it.
Anyway.
Right. Okay.
Can you, I mean, it's just a screeching, whiny, horrid, can't even say words without them sounding like they're being read by a 5-year-old. It's just unwatchable.
I blame this on. I blame it. No, I blame this.
Industry that could find a couple of women who were intelligent.
I blame this on the MTV Video Music Awards. This is what it has evolved to. When the Video Music Awards first started, the first awards, I want to say 84, I think. And by the way, up until 1990, when I left, 1993 to 4. It was verboten to call them the VMAs, which makes so much sense. No, we had to stop the segment. It's the Video Music Awards. You can't say VMAs.
Branding.
Right. And of course, now the branding is VMAs because it was unstoppable. But this is how this is.
You're supposed to, the branding theorists will tell you that you're not the one that should control the branding.
Thank you.
Which is a fact.
And
you are because you don't know the brand,
right?
You portray the brand, but you don't actually know it because you're not the consumer of the brand,
right? I
tell this to people constantly, and I say because they're asking me, "Well, should I do this?" No. You let your customer, the buyer. You're not the buyer. Even with this show. We don't consume the show. We produce the show. We do the show. It's the other side of the picture that knows the brand better than we do because they're the ones that are buying the show.
And this brings me to something very important. I was having drinks and dinner with a friend. I have a couple guy friends here. 2 and a half, maybe 3. And this is, we've spoken about him before, this is the big-time New York banker who he is actually now officially retired. He's my age. He has retired and has gotten out of the industry and moved his family to Austin from New York City, mainly for his kids.
Right. You told us this.
Right. I don't know if I told anyone on the show, but I know I told you privately about this.
No, I think we brought it up.
Okay. And I like him because, he's also trying to figure out what the heck he's doing in Austin. What is it? We're very much the same level, but he has a lot of insight into the financial industry and really understands the big game. I asked him a couple of things, and our wives have connected, and they've had, actually, that's what he sent me an email. Our wives have had 2 drinks 2 times together. This is not good. we must connect.
Must be stopped.
Why are you married to that guy anyway?
Why are you married to that guy?
Okay. So we go out and first let's first have drinks first and then go have dinner. So this is starting off well. And we're talking and I talk a little bit about what he just retired from. And he says, all financial business, all positions, it is all sales. And it's either sales or someone who's programming the machine, but otherwise everyone's in sales. And I believe his job was selling big products to countries. So I think he's not working for Goldman. But it's a big firm, probably one of the only healthy firms still left. And even that's in question.
That would be Goldman to me, but go on.
No, there's another one. And And I think he probably, although it's not Goldman, I'm sure he sell like what Goldman did to Greece and the products they sold. I think that's the kind of stuff he was in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that makes sense. It's big business. And besides him telling me that 7 of the 10 people who knows who are high level, and with high level, I'm talking B level. So he says he was a B level banker in New York. Not where you have the $100 million pad, and you're always at the right restaurant with your own table that is roped off, and you have the 15,000 square foot mansion in the Hamptons. But he was B level, which is big. I would say I consider that to be pretty big. And he said 7 of the 10 people he knows of his level have no idea if they're going to have a job in 6 months. They're all worried crapless.
Yeah, all the time.
No, but he says this is unique. These guys, he said, this is very unique that they are so worried. So it's different, he says. Subsequently, and I'm going to get to the branding part. Subsequently, we talked about something he's calling TARP 2.0, which, as you recall, TARP was the so-called bailout of the banks in 2008, 2009. Troubled assets. Which really benefited only, the biggest benefit came to one group of banks, and that is foreign banks. And so when he says TARP 2.0, he says the European Union is going to need something very quickly.
Yeah, I think but it may come. So he stays connected, in other words, to that.
Well, it's not. He can read Bloomberg and stay connected. He understands. He understands this business. He looks through the things. He's an important asset.
You can read Bloomberg and not know what the hell you're reading.
Right, but he's an important asset to the show.
So the point you're making, now that we know that the European Union is going to collapse, and branding is related.
No. And of course so I'm just telling you this because it's good info. And then we're starting to talk a little bit on my side of the fence. I'm talking about the caliphate and I said, ISIS, ISIL, IS, but what is this crap? And he said, I think this is the perfect branding. He said, this is so good. These guys are so he says these guys are so scary.
Over and over.
Yeah, but also these guys are so scary. No one even knows what to call them.
Yeah,
he thought the ISIS, ISIL, IS was done on purpose. And of course it is.
Which, again, makes it look government.
Well, hello.
I was thinking about this, about the, is it possible that ISIS, which came out of, equipped by us, which came out of Syria as one of the groups that was attacking that couldn't succeed.
Oh, it came out of Libya before that, really. I mean, moved from Libya.
It's the same. It's just some group that we're behind somehow. Mm-hmm. Is it possible that the entire Iraq adventure was designed from the beginning to have this? This is not a big surprise to anybody. We're all flabbergasted. Oh, my God, now what? But is it? We wanted to rebelize and destroy and redesign the country so we could have our little Kurdish buddies have their own little country, and it just took a lot longer than we thought it would because there was a resiliency and a kind of a fake nationalism amongst the Iraqis who really aren't a country. It's not a country. It was one of these countries that was dreamed up after World War I. Yeah. I think this is going according to plan.
Well, we have discussed the Kurdistan and the Kurdish state and breaking up Iraq into 3 was part of the original 2003 invasion, and it didn't work out that way for a number of reasons. I think there are multiple agendas at play, and so the McCains of the world see this, right? They see, let's break it up, and it's good for the oil and for our buddies. I believe there is a bigger game at play, which kind of leads into the globalists who really don't have any patriotic mission for their country, like America. I was funny. I was watching a video. I like to watch the. Have you ever spoken to someone who's Israeli or Arabic? But I've had it with Israelis the most, and they are so. They'll say things like, You don't need a PhD to understand this. It's like, okay.
I hope they don't say it like that. But
nice. Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't quite get it out. I would say you don't need a PhD to understand this, Claire. That's all I can do. My Israeli guy is now Frank Underwood. That the puppet master, let's use that name, there is something much bigger, and it seems like America is what is it, Pax Americana? America keeps the peace. This is what it started with, kind of like the Marshall Plan, and we're making sure everything's calm and cool and collected. And really, what's happening from my vantage point is it seems like almost purposely the way the media is and the way this has evolved. And thank God we have social media. Could it get any better? we are throwing messages at people and incidences and situations, sometimes as often as 24 hours, but we can also build something up. So it'll be, in America, certainly, Russian plane shot down, MH17 shot down, Russia did it, Putin, then we have Caliphate, then we have South Africa, Ebola, and it's going back and forth, and things are really...
Yeah, they're pounding us.
Yeah, so that you remain kind of in this...
pounded state.
Well, it's more, so your mind is blocked from concentrating on one thing and seeing the reality. You're kind of imprisoned in this.
That's why football's so popular.
Yes, you're imprisoned in this
baseball game. Nothing could be more relaxing than that.
Well, but the way this is done with this distraction back and forth, you are imprisoned by superficiality almost. And then of course we throw something called reality at you, and you get imprisoned by this clip. Oh, are we flowing today or what? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it.
This clip,
is it the K?
Kim Kardashian selfies clip.
Kim Kardashian fans will be happy. The American reality TV star has announced she'll soon be releasing a book of her best selfies. The 352-page book entitled Selfish is due to hit stores from April 2015. And it comes as no great surprise, as her Instagram page will testify. The 33-year-old is something of a selfie devotee.
Hey now.
I can't wait. Can you imagine? This will be a bestseller.
Oh, yeah. Pre-sales.
And it's just a bunch of stupid pictures of herself taken by herself. She doesn't get a photo credit. It's unbelievable.
I happen to know something about this book that's not entirely true. She shot a lot of this on her vacation in Thailand.
Wait, hold on a second. Stop. You happen to know a lot about this book?
Yep. Yeah. I saw the episode where she was making it.
You may continue.
Okay. Yeah, this is important research. And if you think that doesn't affect me and that it's not a dangerous task, you're mistaken, my friend. But I do these things for the show. So, a very professional camera. And she got a light ring on it. So it's not phone selfies. They're pretty good. And she had her assistant take some pictures of her. But it is all of her, that's for sure. But they're not specifically selfies. And I do just need to remind everybody about just quickly, and I'll get off it, but it's important. There are new listeners to the show every day, or people who just don't listen at all. They think they're listening because they're in the superficiality of the media. The selfies phenomenon in combination with your portable, bejeweled device with your camera, your phone, and the social media networks is an international health crisis. Because you are not portraying reality. You are seeing all of your friends' wonderful life, their fantastic looking food, the beautiful sunsets, and you want to portray the same thing, which is by taking a picture. Hold on a second. I had my eyes shut. Oh, I didn't get the right side. Are you looking good? Yeah, you're looking good. Oh, perfect. Smile. Great. Oh, yeah, fantastic. I like it. Crop, rotate, filter, upload, post. Hey, wait a minute. No one's liked it yet. Why haven't they liked it? Come on, please like my photo. I really want you to like my photo. This is not healthy behavior. And this is some form of another tipping point with Kim Kardashian's selfie book.
Oh yeah, I agree. And again, selfies are also dangerous. Apparently, a couple fell off a cliff in Portugal trying to take a selfie, and then another guy shot himself in the head because apparently he liked to take selfies. Some Mexican kid, Latino, who liked to put a gun to his own head and take selfies.
And it went off.
And I guess he pushed the wrong button.
Well. Okay, so we are jumping around a bit, but I have done some work on this. And last night was Saturday night. I'm here at the Safe House, And as you know, certainly on Saturday nights, I like to drink my herbal tea and browse through my medical journals. And I knew what I was looking for, and it was based upon something you said in our previous conversation of a related topic, which is the Ice Bucket Challenge. This is a part of the phenomenon, and you said something that triggered my thinking, and then I connected a couple dots. You said that Bill Gates doing this must be because he is completely guilt-ridden, which according to the medical journals and the research, Professor Dvorak, you are correct, but only partially correct for the entire phenomenon. There is a compendium of research that I found from Stanford University, and this is from 2010, is a compendium or a collection of research documents and conclusions. And the title of this compendium is coins the term moral self-licensing. Are you familiar with this?
Continue.
This is very, very good, and of course I have this document highlighted and annotated in the show notes. But let me read a couple things, and you jump in when you feel appropriate. The abstract: past good deeds can liberate individuals to engage in behaviors that are immoral, unethical, or otherwise problematic. Behaviors that they would otherwise avoid for fear of feeling or appearing immoral. In this compendium, we research moral self-licensing and the effect in the domains of political correctness, pro-social behavior, and consumer choice. This, John, is gold.
Gold.
I'm sorry?
Gold, Jerry.
It is gold. It also explains a lot about what the precursor to this is, which is the changing your Twitter icon, texting a $5 donation for a concert for Haiti. But it works both ways. So the obvious presumption is, oh, wow, if I change my Twitter icon, I will feel much better about something that I haven't done anything about. But when you dive into the research, it is not just making yourself feel better for not having done something. The research shows quite conclusively from multiple studies that when you do something that appears to be good, like an ice bucket challenge or changing your Twitter icon, you are actually, in many cases, self-licensing yourself for bad behavior down the road. And so when you look at, and I'll read some more highlighted bits from the document, when you think about the ice bucket challenge, what bothered you and I was that, and actually it has all the elements built in, that you either take the ice bucket challenge or donate $100. And so it has the immoral behavior built into it. You douse yourself with the ice bucket so you don't have to pay the $100, which to us made no sense. But that is, so this is the moral self-licensing built into the system up front. Yes, they've raised a lot of money, but I guarantee you a lot of people who took this challenge did not write any check. They just, I did the bucket challenge, whatever. And it has that beautiful social aspect, which we used to gripe about, and it doesn't happen anymore, the chain letter. When email first came out.
That says all the elements of a chain letter. I hate chain letters. You have no idea.
You will die if you do not send this to 10 more people.
You will die.
You will die. And that's the I'm calling out, I'm tagging 3 other people. And you have 24 hours or you will die.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the model is. This is modeled after that.
Moral self-licensing. This is from the Monin and Miller 2001 study. This has been studied a lot, so I'm glad we have this.
There's a couple of other coincidental things involved here. One is my idea, but the other one is that's noteworthy that in certain Eastern European cultures, jumping into a pool of ice is a way of cleansing your sins. And the Russians do this.
Right.
They have it on the news constantly.
Sure.
These idiots jumping into ice water.
Right.
But I'm also seeing this as kind of a satanic ritual, as in a baptism. Because make no mistake about it, this has all the elements of a baptism.
Thank you very much. That's not discussed in this, but that I totally agree.
And I do believe that this baptism thing may be cursing these people to having a spate of extremely bad luck. Yeah. To the point where I would keep an eye on them. I keep an eye on Lindsay Lohan. I keep an eye on everybody who made a big scene dumping getting baptized with the ice water. And I think it's already gotten close to that with this clip I have. The ice bucket challenge goes bad.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I was... Yeah.
In Kentucky, 4 firefighters were hurt when their ice bucket challenge went wrong. Yeah. The firefighters were helping a college marching band with the challenge. After they sprayed the students with water, the crew pulled the ladder back, and the bucket got too close to a power line. One of them is now in critical condition, and power was knocked out in the area.
Oh, yeah. The ice challenge.
It was the bucket itself that was struck.
Yeah, it arced.
By the lightning bolt.
It arced, it arced.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that blows me away, and this is why this ice bucket challenge is potentially extremely bad for charitable work, for just crime, is that morals. I'm going to read some more because this is going to blow you away. Moral self-licensing, the Monin and Miller study from 2001, occurs when past moral behavior makes people more likely to do potential immoral things without worrying about feeling or appearing immoral. And a lot of this study shows is about the appearance. The phenomenon of moral self-licensing has been documented in various domains under different headings over the past decades. There's a lot of known information about this. The anxiety associated with political correctness in the contemporary United States, this is from a study from 1998, provides numerous opportunities to observe moral self-licensing. Modern Americans generally wish to avoid feeling or appearing prejudiced, yet all the same can be tempted to express views that could be construed as prejudice. So this is where this political correctness comes from, and the internet and social media is extremely bad.
Feeding it.
Yeah.
Feeding it.
Research has shown that individuals strategically seek out opportunities to act morally if they know they might need a moral license for an upcoming dubious action. This is fantastic. So the people who are possibly, according to research, the people who take the ice bucket challenge may be doing so because they know they have an upcoming dubious action and they want to cleanse themselves up front. This is dynamite. When individuals have a chance to establish their kindness, generosity, or compassion, they should worry less about engaging behaviors that might appear to violate pro-social norms. For example, individuals whose past good deeds are fresh in their mind may feel less compelled to give to a charity than individuals without such comforting recollections.
I already gave.
Exactly.
I already gave.
And other charity, I said that autism, they must be incense because a lot of people who probably would not have donated are not going to donate anymore. And they probably didn't even donate. A large majority of the people who took this challenge did not write a check. Even though, of course, it's working. Of course, money is coming in. Of course, that's the logic of numbers, big numbers. Of course, it's going to work. Okay. The 1999, I'm not going to read all the names of the studies, but these are all footnoted. And these are real Stanford type research. This is well documented.
Yeah, we got that already. Go.
The research showed that individuals want the credit for moral intentions without having to pay the cost. This suggests if you let individuals express their exemplary intentions, they may feel licensed not to follow through on them. For example,
I want to stop you here for a second because I want to mention something which is also this is actually a biblical thing. Yes. And this is another thing that bothers me, which is the concept, and I think this is, I don't know scripture, so I can't give you a quote. But
we have plenty of producers who do and will.
But there's the thing about showing off your contribution. In other words, I'm a generous person. I've given $5,000. I'm taking the ice bucket challenge. I'm going to dump ice on myself, and I'm going to give money. This sort of thing is considered bad form. If you want to be a generous person, you're a generous person. You're not supposed to be giving money for your own self-aggrandizement. You're not supposed to do that. It's bad form. And that's all I see with this.
And the reason why that is scripture, and indeed someone will send that to us, is I believe, scripture is not just all made up stories about some dudes in the sky on a cloud, just like living a strict orthodox life. There are some real learnings behind them. And this makes sense. If you aggrandirize and say, I'm doing or I'm going to, history has proven, and it has been known throughout history, that people then have this self-moral licensing and they don't follow through. Here's an example. Asking people the probability they would donate blood in an ideal world led them to make much lower estimates of the probability they will donate blood in reality. So the non-real world is social media. And the real world is the one where, you stick a pin in yourself and it hurts. So when you say in the fantasy world, I'm going to donate blood, here's my Twitter icon I'm changing, the likelihood of you doing that is almost nil. Because you've already done the bit. You've already given yourself the license not to do it. Who the fuck is going to know? And this is research. These imagined claims allow people to show they really want to be an upstanding citizen, even though they probably will not follow through on their intentions. This is from a 1995 study. And then we moved into something, I think the advertising guys, and someone's got to be using this, and I think we just haven't figured it out yet and need to look at it closely now that this is on a radar. Consumer choice. So consumer choice this is where the money is made. Consumer choice represents a third domain in which moral self-licensing is very evident. Everyday purchasing decisions are tinged with morality. At the extreme, some utilitarian philosophers argue that it is immoral to spend disposable income on unnecessary things because that money could go to people in need elsewhere. This is from 1972 studies.
Right. Eat all your food. It could go to they're starving
children in Africa.
There's always starving children.
According to the logic of self-licensing, individuals whose prior choices establish them as ethical and reasonable spenders should be more likely to indulge in frivolous purchases later on. This is how you are tricked into buying stuff. A 2006 study explored this question directly by asking participants to make a hypothetical choice between purchasing a luxury good, designer jeans, or a relative necessity, a vacuum cleaner. Participants who had first been asked to imagine doing something altruistic, so this is how the brain was manipulated. Participants who had first been asked to imagine doing something altruistic chose the luxury item more often than those who had not. So they hadn't done anything altruistic. They had been asked to think about it. In other words, participants who imagined doing good deeds were able to establish their morality, and this licensed them to make frivolous choices with less guilt.
There's something to that. This is an interesting idea.
Bingo!
And
boom,
now, we will actually start to spot this now, because the one thing you have to understand about people have to understand about the marketing and advertising world. They study this stuff for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as though you go into advertising and the next thing you know, you're writing ad copy that sells product.
In fact, most people think that it's like Mad Men, where we all go sit down and say, this looks great. It'll appeal to women. The real companies, the ones that really know what they're doing, they have the best scientists working for them. They really do. Here's an example, another real world example from 2007, and this was for a movie rental. This blows me away. Optimistic expectations of future consumer behavior can license people to make more self-indulgent choices in the present. A Khan and Dahar 2007 study demonstrated, as compensation for an unrelated task, participants chose a free movie rental from a list containing both lowbrow films, example would be Ocean's 11, and highbrow films, Schindler's List. Illustrating that this choice had a moral tinge, a separate group had rated the highbrow movies as more virtuous than the lowbrow movies. Participants were more likely to pick a lowbrow movie when they expected to select a second movie from the same list 1 week later, compared to when they thought they were choosing one movie just in isolation. So this is how choice is manipulated, by giving people some very obvious choices and a time frame to make this choice. And it's kind of counterintuitive. And isn't everything we discover on this show counterintuitive, when you think about it, to what popular belief is? This is how you can be manipulated without really doing that much work.
Maybe people would just rather watch Ocean's 11.
Well,
it's more entertaining. Although I have to say, Schindler's List is very entertaining.
Social labeling may be one way to frame goal pursuit as commitment. Here's a study from 1975 that tested different tactics to increase neatness among fifth graders. The group of children who were told repeatedly that they were tidy, so they were given the label, "You are tidy children," littered less than the group that was told they should be neat and tidy. This is mind-boggling to me.
I'm reminded of it's one of the commercials. Unfortunately, I don't remember the product, so it wasn't that effective. But a product for some sort of chocolate or something like that, and they used the mixed term "guilty pleasure."
Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, that was
stuff like that
stems from this sort of thing.
All right, I'll just do the final one because I think everyone gets the point. This is from 2009. I like this one. This was a study. All of the participants were Democrats. They were given a choice to express their support for either Obama, this would be the licensing condition, or Kerry, the control condition. They were asked to state how they would divide a pot of money, remember all Democrats, a pot of money between an organization serving a white community and one serving a black community. Participants with higher scores on the modern racism scale, now this is MRS, and I just have to believe that it is a measure of prejudice, which was developed in 1981. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there's a racism scale. Participants with higher scores on the modern racism scale, whose commitment to egalitarian goals was presumably weaker, showed the licensing effect. They allocated more funds to the white organization after having expressed support for Obama. In contrast, participants with lower modern racism scale ratings, whose commitment to egalitarian goals was presumably stronger, showed a marginal consistency effect. They allocated more funds to the black organization after having expressed support for Obama. So you see, this is very important how these issues are portrayed, certainly on television, and propagated and amplified through social media.
Well, that's one of the things we pick up on our show. That's the reason we identify, even though we don't know these studies, we do now, of course, but we spot things like condemning guns as a precursor to get people to vote for the Democrats.
Yes.
Even though it's never mentioned.
Right.
No one ever says, you should hate guns, are going to kill your children, vote Democrat. They never do that. In fact, the only overt ad I've ever seen, and I just happen to have a clip of it, that is outrageously overt. This is a clip from the National Rifle Association, actually. Mm-hmm. And it showed up on it showed up on NFL networks.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Let me set it up. And it seems to be dated because it's really targeting Bloomberg, but it's a pro-gun advertisement.
Liberals call this flyover country. It's an insult. But nobody insults your life like this guy, Michael Bloomberg, billionaire, elitist, hypocrite. Bloomberg tries to ban your snack foods, your soda, and most of all, your guns. Bloomberg said the largest county in Colorado is as far rural as you can get. I don't think there's roads there. That's what he thinks of your state, too. Hey, Bloomberg, keep your politics in New York and keep your hands off our guns and our freedom.
Yes. He was called out in the Ice Bucket Challenge, I might add, by Gabby Giffords and her husband.
They did it too.
Not Bloomberg. The CEO of the NRA was called out. Not Bloomberg. The CEO of the NRA was called out. So
that would make sense.
All right, this is now completely been politicized, and so it's getting an extra dimension.
Representative John Dingell, a Democrat from Michigan, accuses some Republicans of defunding ALS research while taking the Ice Bucket Challenge. He tweeted, "Since 2011, House Republicans have cut National Institutes of Health funding by billions, and you thought dumping ice water on your head was cold."
So this has been politicized, and interesting to note that this has been outlawed in the government. Bandcamp girl Marie Harf spoke about this, and the ambassadors who are not allowed to participate in this, of course, obviously fantastic cause.
Very light one, offbeat one.
Can I guess what it is?
Yes. Is it correct that the State Department sent a cable to its ambassadors to ban them from participating?
It wasn't. It's not limited. It's not just about ambassadors. Federal government ethics rules prevent us from using our public offices, such as high public offices, such as ambassadors, for private gain, no matter how worthy the cause is. And this is, of course, a worthy cause.
Of course.
For that reason, high-ranking State Department officials are unfortunately unable to...
She just, hold on a second. She just violated the rule herself by saying it's a worthy cause.
Of course. Well,
didn't she?
No, not entirely. The reason why the rule is in place, no matter how worthy the cause, you are not allowed to use your office to raise money, like Eleanor Holmes, whatever her name is. You know, people who call up and say... I was going to say Eleanor Holmes Rigby. I don't know.
Norton.
Participate in the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Okay. Sorry about the one channel there. It's the C-SPAN has been a little bad. Research suggests, I'm almost at the end here, but it's just so much is boggling my mind. Research suggests that self-licensing, is not merely a self-presentational strategy. Instead, it seems to reassure the self, and this is an important word, selfies. This is the stuff we're dealing with right now. It seems to reassure the self that subsequent behavior is legitimate. 2001 study showed that licensing occurred even when the audience who observed the morally dubious behavior knew nothing of the prior licensing behavior, suggesting that self-image played a role in the phenomenon. Individuals who imagined doing something altruistic rated themselves higher on items such as, I am compassionate, I am helpful, and that this change in self-perception mediated whether participants then felt licensed to prefer a frivolous product. You are definitely being used in this way, and we are going to be paying attention to it now. And I find the Ice Bucket Challenge, and again, just rehashing, having the challenge include the immoral behavior of not donating if you perform the self-licensing act of dumping ice over your head it's a short circuit. It is everything right in one go, in 1 second, and you get to share it with your friends, and you get to call them out with the chain letters came in the mail. I remember getting them. I remember my first one when I was 9, and my mom said, "Yes." My mom said, "Oh, okay, well, I'll get you 10 stamps. You know, you don't want to die."
Oh, jeez.
Yes, I have mother issues too. I'm working on them.
Wow.
Yeah, emotional blackmail. I know. We all have crap going on. It's okay. I'm in therapy. I'm working on it.
When I get one of those, I don't get them that much. Maybe once every couple of years now. Besides bouncing everybody who would send me one of these things, I usually excoriate the sender.
Oh, yeah.
And then I usually blacklist them so they never can get. But these people who send these things around, there's always, and there's some that are creative. They're very creative about the kid's going to die and he needs prayers and you have to read this little ditty and you read it out loud. And I mean, there's a million possibilities. And they're always the same, and they always this implication, you've got to do this, you got to send it to 5 more people. It's very important. And they don't even have to be necessary about you're going to die. Some of them are political. Obama is actually, a reptilian, and here's all the data. and send this to 5 of your friends, so everyone knows. That kind of thing. It's just I find it offensive that I even get one. When somebody sends me one, I am personally offended.
In the conclusion of this compendium, there is something that I think pertains certainly to me and perhaps to you and to us and this and others. Say that again.
And others.
And many others. Although much of the research highlighted in this compendium highlights the dark side of moral self-licensing, we wish to suggest that moral self-licensing may sometimes have more desirable consequences. As discussed in the section on political correctness, moral self-licensing can alleviate anxiety about saying something offensive. Thus, self-licensing can be a valuable strategy to facilitate open conversations about sensitive topics. I think this is what I do.
This is what I do.
I think I do. I call out things by their name. It was like we're Tourette's. You're black, doing? You're Jew, you're whatever. I say it like it is. So
what have you done it previously to give yourself this license?
No, I do it all the time. The way I talk about.
I got it. You always give out everyone you see on the street.
No.
You always give them $5 and that gives you the license.
No, you have to reverse it, John. You have to reverse it. Instead of me doing something good so I can feel good about myself for doing, I do bad things to give myself license to talk openly without guilt about things. So I call people horrible.
You're violating your own thesis that you just outlined.
No, I'm telling you what they just said. You can look at it in the reverse.
No, but you can also look at it they said the positive, but I think if you're going to go with positive stuff, you still have to have the license.
No, here's
the joke. You're kidding. You're a do-gooder. You don't do bad things. You like to imagine that you do.
Yes.
You don't go around beating people up down the street. You don't kick old ladies and you don't kick them in the knee.
No, you know why? Because I do all that verbally in the imaginary world of this show. Therefore, I'm a really nice guy outside of the show.
What do you do negative on this show?
Oh, I don't know. I call people a-holes, horrible people, baby killers. I don't know.
These are all realistic assertions.
Correct.
They're not inaccurate.
All right. I have to work on myself and figure this one out. But the self-license is a fact.
It's a good one.
That's
a winner. That's the winner for today's show. No clips, but it's a good one.
I'm done. Let's go home. Moral self-licensing. It is just beautiful. It is truly, truly a
well, we'll
thing.
see. This won't be the first bull crap thing. We've seen it with the icons, the Twitter icons, which seem to gall you more than anyone. And
it only galls me because I know, and we now have.
You know, and I know, we all know that you change the icon, you think you've done something.
Yeah.
This is the same as all the outrage over net neutrality.
Yeah.
I did my part. What part did you do? I said it's bad.
So for success, if you want to have success, you need to have someone do something trivial instead of doing something meaningful, and mention that in the same challenge and have them send it on like a chain letter. So we can use this for we can say Haiti. And so Haiti is suffering from cholera. Pour a bucket of diarrhea over your head, or send $1,000 to Haiti and tell everyone else to do this now and call them out, or it's going to die.
Well, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I think anyone that's involved in the Ice Bucket Challenge, even though I think it's long since jumped the shark, but I would suggest if you're going to give somebody the dump ice water, find a way to pee in the bucket a little bit.
Okay. There he is, everybody. They're fine.
There you go.
Yeah, we brought it down to third grade. Great. Thank you for that courage.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your courage, John C. Dvorak. And I will say, in the morning to you, my friend and fellow Professor John C. Dvorak.
Yeah, and in the morning, you, Adam Curry. In the morning, all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
Indeed. In the morning to everyone in the chat room who has been participating. It's very nice to see them participate in this particular conversation. They are recognizing themselves. I love seeing that. And in the morning to our artists. In the morning to our artists who are always helping with the show. Great art. Really, really, really great art we had on 643 from Alexander
there's a lot of
Norris.
pieces they had to pick from.
Yeah, this was
a lot of potential winners in
this
that.
This was the Fab Four dressed up as ISIS. Of course, that's because the 3 of these horrible ISIS beheaders are now known as the Beatles, which I will say is funny by itself because they're from London, and there is not a single Londoner in the London universe or elsewhere who will think or agree with you that the Beatles are from London. The Beatles were from Liverpool, and this is they're very specific in London about
this.
They
make a big deal about it.
They would never say, they're from London. No.
It's a fact.
Yeah, noagendaartgenerator.com is where you can see all of... And Alexander scored twice in a row, I will point out.
Yeah, out of the blue.
Yeah, just on a roll.
Well, we'll see.
Don't be discourged or be encouraged to continue.
A lot of these guys, they get hot.
Yeah, they get hot and they're on a roll.
Nick the Rat had a string of about 5, and then
5. And he had many more. He had strings of 5 and then 5.
One after the other with no break. And then Martin JJ was stringing them, so he had to retire, semi-retire. Remember that? He retired. He says, "I've had it. I'm just winning every week. I'll let these other losers take a shot at it."
So be encouraged that your mojo comes back, but we really just choose the best art, and usually I'll say, "Oh man, it's 3 in a row," and we go, "Yeah, but it's the best." You know, we are fair. We have to be fair about these things, and
we have to be fair about thanking our producers and executive producers, beginning with Ed Farrell, who's another. I think this is is this the 3rd in a row? I think we missed the last show, but this is another Insta-Night.
It's a Sack of Sevens Insta-Night.
Yeah, Sack of Sevens Insta-Night, $1,777.77. He says, "I can finally call myself a knight. I love what you guys do. Please keep up the good work. Can I get some job karma? Because I need a new job."
Wait a minute. Is he out of work? Does he have a job? Or just wants a new job?
Well, when you say new job, that assumes you have a job.
Okay.
Anybody who doesn't like his job.
Well, Ed, thank you very much. We, of course, will be very delighted to bring you into the table of the knights and dames later in the program, and appreciate you being a Sack of Sevens knight. And yes, of course.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
This stuff works, by the way. This is not, again, we have not come up with this. This is producers who have determined this. This is part of our genius. We don't have, I was thinking
part
about
of our genius.
But what is part of our genius is that the genius comes naturally because we're lazy. We're lazy. We are procrastinators. We don't like working on stuff that doesn't interest us. And and I've had producers, and when producers are in charge of the show, they do what the producer wants. And this is how great shows fail. Such as that, what was the show that I watched? The musical dancing show about Broadway with the girl from Will and Grace.
That's so fabulous that you forgot the name.
Well, they ruined it.
Called Showtime or Showgirls or Broadway. I'm headed to Broadway. Smash. Smash. Okay,
Thank
you're
you,
right,
Mr. Bobo.
No, that is a good story because the story behind that show, which was a producer, a single-minded woman who had a vision for the show, and her vision was actually
meta.
Was your name Meta?
No, this is a meta because the story was about a woman, and of course it's producers about writing a story about a producer.
The point was that she had this vision for the show, and it was attracting a very loyal audience of weirdos, I would say.
That's okay. I like my singing and dancing.
And who like singing and dancing because it was kind of based on can we beat Glee at its own game?
Right, which I don't watch. I don't like Glee at all.
Well, it's a different style, and this woman had a certain and I thought it was getting traction, annoyingly so, because I never liked the show. I thought it was too navel gazing, but that's me. But some suits in the network, and I believe it must have been NBC because they're the biggest screw ups there are, said, well, I don't know, we could probably, our demo's not right. We got to move this and that, and we got to change this and that. And I don't like the way this is going. They come in, start fooling with the show. She gets into a battle royale, I guess, with the suits.
Mm-hmm.
And she, I guess, was either fired or walked. And they brought in some new guys who changed the structure of the show completely, made it more entertaining to people like myself, but I'm still not watching it, so that doesn't do them any good. And boom, done. Over. Busted.
Well, what I identified as the core audience is the format of the show was blah, 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 singing and dancing. Transition from rehearsal into the real thing and back again and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about the storyline. I like Angelica Houston.
Well, I think that was her idea. Now,
but they stopped doing it. They had entire episodes with no singing and dancing.
They wanted a plot. Right. What's the
who
point
wants a plot?
Dancing show with no singing and dancing? Now,
moronic,
I'm of the opinion, looking back on this and listening to you and then was seeing the success of shows like Glee, and then if you take a look at So You Think You Can Dance or America's Got Talent or all these shows, which are extremely popular, some of them they run 2 or 3 times a week, which have mostly singing and dancing,
yes,
that America wants singing and dancing.
This is, the chat room just pointed out something very important. It doesn't happen often, but here it is. Sorry, little snide remark. Bollywood. Plot, always the same. Who gives a crap? Singing and dancing with beautiful people. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
So the singing and dancing, and the Broadway shows or the big Broadway musicals are mostly singing and dancing, and they're very effective.
Orange is the New Black. They almost screwed it up. Orange is the New Black. What was it that attracted all audiences to Orange is the New Black?
I have no idea.
Realistic lesbian sex. This is simple. Every 3 episodes, you have to have some kind of realistic lesbian sex. They were the first 8 episodes of season 2. I didn't watch anymore until 9, 10, 11, 12, then they picked it up and got good again. It's so easy.
Well, this again is like what we were talking about earlier in the show, which is the branding really comes from the other side of the equation.
You have to be listening.
The customers, the ones who are buying into it, that would be you in the case of that Smash show.
Yes.
You would be a better advisor running through our consulting company than the idiots at NBC.
You mean the hugely successful Curry Dvorak Consulting Organization?
Yes, everybody knows it.
We actually put out one proposal, and they didn't even answer us.
Well, that's because they probably were stunned at how reasonable our ideas were. Let's return to the show 646 rundown.
We're going to die poor. All right, here we
have
go.
Steve Marshy of Sunnyvale, California, right down the road here. 666. So he came in with a 666. Sounds like I'm maybe the first with the Mark of the Beast, the big beast. Actually, when we first introduced it, we had a couple. So I think we have 3.
We did, yeah. It's nice to have him on board.
I would like to mention, although it goes without saying at this point, the coverage and analysis you both provide is invaluable. John's breakdown of Ebola and Adam's continuing analysis of the Israeli moon bases.
No, wait. Why do you mock me?
Are spot on.
Obviously.
Maybe he knows something. He's in Sunnyvale. Thanks for being one of the bastions of honesty and reporting. I'd like you to take this opportunity to call out a few douchebags. Ready?
Oh, okay. Yes, I am prepared.
Pete?
Douchebag.
Eric.
Wait, what's the second one?
Eric.
Douchebag.
Jack.
Douchebag.
Bob.
Douchebag.
Okay. And the rest of the unnamed boners. Support the best podcast in the universe. You will obey. If I could make a request for some jingles, I'd like an adult Putin, 2 to the head, amazing, and a pigs in human clothing.
What is?
Thanks.
Hold on. What is an adult Putin? Oh, just a regular.
Just a regular Putin. In other words, not the kid.
A regular Putin, and an amazing and pigs in human clothing, which is one of my favorites, I have to say.
And a karma.
And a karma, obviously. Okay, here we go.
Putin.
Oh my God, that is amazing! Fear is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world, and you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing.
You've got karma.
Hey. Nice.
Sir Don Tommaso di Toronto came in with $646, which makes him the member of the 646 Club. We thank him for that.
Haven't had that in a long time. Great, thank you.
Kettleby, it's rare.
Yeah.
Kettleby, Ontario, and he just says a short note, just from Don Tommaso de Toronto. Here's my PayPal indrome for episode 646. Hey, boners, give a little, okay? He says that's a shout out.
Yeah.
And he would like a little karma for the rest of us who do donate.
Absolutely.
You've got karma.
Continuing with this nice group. And this came in as a check from Francis Sheehy in Worcester, Massachusetts, $500. And it just came in as a straight up check in a piece of blank paper in the mail.
No note?
No note. And this is what we're talking about with the, very casual and meaningful donation.
I got a check for $1,000 in the mail yesterday.
Okay.
And
was this for your voice?
No. It was from it was in an official looking envelope, and it was didn't we have this whole thing with?
I get those all the time.
Well, I've never seen this particular one. Isn't there some rule against tricking consumers?
Yes. There's actually a law against what you're about to describe. When I was taking my seminars on direct marketing. They brought this up that you can't do this. You can't do anything that makes it look like there's a check inside.
Well, not only it is a real check, and it says this is a real check, and it had 2 flyers. I'm sorry I left it in the grade room, so I can't get it to read it verbatim. But I did set it aside to discuss. It had one note in English, one in Spanish, of course, because we're really about tricking our Mexican friends here. And on the back, it says, endorse here, and you can cash this as a real check, but it does, by signing this, you agree to the terms of repayment. And the repayment is, and it even says it right there, you will be paying for this $1,000 check, which you may use you can cash it, get $1,000. You will be repaying $1,458 over the course of the payment. So it's kind of like a credit card, only it's in the form of a cash check, which is very appealing if someone would need $1,000 right away.
Yeah.
And what's interesting as I delved into it, there is a handling fee, or they call it something, I can't remember specifically. Even if you pay off the $1,000 immediately, the $300 of the handling fee is due regardless. This is an unbelievable scam for people who see a check and need $1,000. And I was appalled. I was just appalled this is being sent out and that it's legal.
It's probably not legal.
Well,
I think somebody has to. The problem is there's so many of these scams and so much illegality going on through the mail, which makes it very easy to prosecute. The prosecutors aren't doing anything about this stuff. It's I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out.
They don't care. This was Pocahontas' deal. This is Elizabeth Warren who
Pocahontas is all over this, and she has done nothing. But
ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, weighing 333 pounds, he's the Grand Duke of Gitmo, USA, Sir David Foley.
So David Foley came in, I see.
These are loyal subjects of the Grand Duke who send these in.
It's the Grand Duke of United States. $333.33 seems to be his favorite thing of late.
He's up there in the earthquake zone, isn't he?
He's in Los Gatos, which is down south.
Okay.
South of San Jose, actually.
Oh, he's okay. He's fine.
But there's when that goes off down there, it's nasty.
Right. But
in the morning, John and Adam, thank you for providing analysis and insight that can be found nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Please send a dose of that wonderful No Agenda karma.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. Sir David?
You've got karma.
Nowhere else. Nowhere else.
What is that device you're using?
Dame Astrid, the Viscountess of Tokyo, is also in with $333.33.
What is the device you use for that? That's just wonderful. Is that an analog or digital device?
This thing right here that I'm talking in right now.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Hello, people.
This is a Green Spot Irish whiskey tube that the bottle of whiskey was in.
Oh.
And if you kind of
cock it to the side of your mouth and then talk into it, it sounds like I'm in an echo chamber.
It has a one when you do it really quietly and you really close mic it. I think it's a licensable sound.
You think so?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the real deal. I'm not using electronic gizmos and software. I'm doing it the old fashioned.
That's a real deal too.
Yes, this is true. This is true. That's very real. Anyway, $333.33 from her out of Tokyo. John and Adam, you seem very much on a roll lately. I noticed I was sitting on a bagel.
Yeah, I think it was a sushi.
A big karma shot to you. Another karma shot for all the cover art artists. Like gift wrapping on a present, it makes my heart beat faster.
Whoa. Let's just reread what she says. Artists.
Another karma shot for all the cover art artists.
It's like
gift wrapping on a present. It makes your heart beat faster.
Oh, her heart specifically.
Oh, hers, yeah. Well, she's talking about herself.
Yeah.
And one more karma shot for all the dudes called Ben, especially the ones who eat octopus balls in Osaka.
These are the guys who were at the 50th birthday party. The guys
octopus
from Osaka.
Ball eaters?
Yeah, they're from Osaka, exactly.
You've got karma.
I'm glad that we are bridging the rivalry between Tokyo and Osaka. Osaka and Tokyo. So she puts a little snide remark in there that they eat octopus balls.
Yeah.
But she still calls them out for a karma shot. And she appreciates dude's name, Ben, because she relies on them to...
so she's a famous architect that needs computers.
And a lot of them.
Would think so in today's world, especially when you're building big buildings.
They're building another huge thing that's right on the main drag. It's good. Yeah, big things.
Jason Kiefer in Tallahassee, Florida. We go down to associate executive producers for show 646. $295.64. Sends note in. In the morning, John and Adam, on the day before I wrote this, I filled up my tank, and the gas purchase came to 33.33. This was a message to the cosmos that I needed to donate again, so I'm sending you 29564. 9564 represents the high temperature and dew point at that time on 16th of August 2014.
Nice.
Plus $200 because it's worth it for the best podcast in the universe. Please give me karma to start the semester. A student. Start the semester as I continue to study the science that is causing the climate to change.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, John Perry.
You've got karma.
You know, that Kerry clip, we should probably revisit it. He was talking about believing the science. If you believe in the science, it's
believe in science.
Was it believe in science?
Yeah, it was because I brought that up because it's like a faith thing. So he wasn't science. He didn't think of science as a methodology, which is what Mike.
I have the clip here. Hold on. Let's just listen to it again because it's an important thing he's doing here.
All of us in this room understand climate change is not a crisis of the future. Climate change is here now. It's happening all over the world. It's not a challenge that's somehow remote and that people can't grab onto. And what's happening is the science is screaming at us.
That's right.
Ask any kid in school. They understand what a greenhouse is, how it works.
Yeah, come on.
Why we call it the greenhouse effect. They get it.
Yeah.
And here's what. If you accept the science.
Oh, if you accept the science.
If you accept that the science is causing climate to change.
If you accept the science, this is what was pointed out to me in email. If you accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior, if you accept the science, that's the analogy.
And he says the science, this is what from this clip, what we got away from, now I remember it. If you play that end part again, he says, if you accept that science is causing climate change.
If you accept that the science is causing climate to change.
I think the science is causing the climate to change. This is, again, he is telling the absolute truth. The science is causing the climate to change. And the climate change is really nothing but numbers and data and news stories.
Yeah, projections and
it is
computer models that are bullcrap.
And I accept the science as my new religion.
Essentially, that's what the idea is.
Science!
I have an ant in here that is wandering around on the mic.
Shut up already. It's science.
You want to fry him?
I can't see him here.
Pull out the tube, man. Tube him.
No, I'm not going to pull out the tube. All right. Marvin Brittain in Bellevue, Nebraska. 23456. One of my absolute favorite donations. Let me see if we have a note from him.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I didn't notice this blank. Brittain.
Hold on. I'm just going
to. Lee, here it is. Producer donation note for episode 6. No, this is an old one. No.
Sorry.
Marvin Brittain. BRIT.
Just one nostril is like completely stuffed up, and I can't seem to clear it out today. I'm sorry.
Sorry for cussing at yourself. All right.
I didn't cuss.
Okay. If you have anything from Martin, or I'm sorry.
From whom?
Marvin.
Marvin Brittain. Let me check.
Yeah.
I might. Let's see. Marvin.
He's done this donation before. Oh, no, wait. This is it. Yeah, and it came in from. Okay, here's what the problem is. His email's got this D. It's okay. I'm not going to say what his email is, but
I don't have.
Okay, I got it. Hang on a second.
Okay.
DUR blah blah blah.
What are you doing?
Here it is.
Oh, good.
Jeez,
Marvin.
His name's. This is for 646. Okay, howdy, John. It's an italicized paragraph. It's for me, so I don't have to read this part. This is a. Okay, you got to get your pen out.
I don't actually use a pen on the show, but okay.
I do.
Okay.
That's funny. I do. I use a pen. That's why I write in a little book.
All right, go.
Donation birthday call out from my wife.
Okay, this is from
Lee Brittain, Brittain. Two. I'm looking for his wife's name.
Isn't his name Marvin or Lee?
It's on here. It's Lee. I don't know where the Marvin comes from. It comes from the PayPal account.
Okay.
All the way up to the beginners of the Bellevue strike again. I don't have a special name for the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 donation, but I wanted to give you a donation ending with the 6, but couldn't swing the 1 at the front. Maybe this can be called the -1 donation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
I like it. This is a combination donation birthday call for my wife, Peggy.
Okay, Peggy. Got it.
Hey, Peggy. In keeping with our last donation, this is her birthday present. That's nice. Donating is addicting, and I have a birthday coming up in October. Perhaps a knighthood is in our future. I know a knighthood is generally a singular status, but for the past big gulp 24 years, 24-year anniversary,
yes?
We have done nearly everything together, so our future knighthood would be as a couple.
Aww.
So he needs the following clips.
Wait, but when is her birthday?
The 24th of
today.
This month.
It's today.
Today.
It is today. And his name is Marvin Lee Brittain.
Okay.
Apparently, he's either him or someone's in the chat room who knows what's going on.
Oh, it's probably him.
Yeah.
Okay, now he wants the following clip combination.
Oh, God. Can I put my pen down?
And then he says, yes. Then he says the following, which I think we have to read. Please remind producers to stick to a 3-clip limit.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, this is the first one. Manning's Boom Shakalaka. John C. JCD's Echoing You Will Obey. Followed by a couple of live seconds of JCD's Tech Grouts telling us to throw away our iPhone.
Okay, so we need a...
And by the way, not the Tech Grouch. That's some guy.
Bingo Boom Shakalaka, followed by a...
You Will Obey.
You Will Obey, followed by some kind of...
the iPhone thing from the Tech Grouch. You've been playing it.
Oh, but no, it's been turned into a jingle. It's not like I decided that would be funny to play. It's not my business.
Bingo, boom, shakalaka.
Watch it, turn it, leave it, stop on that.
iPhone, schmyphone.
It's a short one.
You've got karma.
I figured
iPhone, schmyphone.
Throw out a short one for you.
Comic genius.
Yeah, gold, baby. It's gold.
Okay. That's Marvin and Peggy.
Marvin Lee and Peggy Lee.
Peggy Lee, wow.
I'm just making that up. 3-clip limit, everybody.
All right, here we go. Back to the list.
Ah, yes.
Joshua Stillwell in San Diego, California, 23343. Hi, Chip and Chop. I've been a longtime pre-donor. For all you listeners who remember what a pre-donor is and still haven't donated, I want to call you all out as douchebags.
Well, hey now.
Douchebag.
Thank you.
My wife's favorite number is 43, and her favorite food is mac and cheese, and I got hooked on the show when I realized my wife is probably a government handler. I would like to request that Adam please honor me by not de-douching, but by pulling out 3 old random jingles we haven't heard in a long time. Thanks for keeping the show going so long that I would hate myself too much not to donate. Okay?
Well, this is.
It's a challenge for Adam to do this.
It is a challenge. And the thing is, I wasn't just, I don't know. Let me see. I've got, I have 2 and I'm faltering, so I'll just grab, I don't know, man. Do you have anything you like? There comes a point when there's
a lot of old ones that you haven't played for a long time.
Okay, hold on. Here's what I'll do. I will sort the folder by date.
Yeah, and just play the 3 old ones in there.
Okay.
Sorting folder.
Yeah, do that. That's nice.
Sorting folder. Sorting folder. Sorting folder. Sorting folder.
Okay, we got 3. Here we go.
The No Agenda Show, like a kick to the crotch.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese, mac and cheese, mac and cheese.
Adios, mofo.
There you go.
You've got karma.
That's the one you wanted.
All right. Okay, finally, Ed LeBoutier. From Hesperia, California, $200. So he'd be our last associate executive producer. A lot of producers today. He says, you guys are a beacon of light over the dark BS of the lamestream media. Keep up the good work. Short and simple.
Thank you. And a karma, of course.
And we want to thank...
Hold on. What?
Yeah, play.
Well, you were talking over the karma.
I was right there at the pause when you...
I'm sorry, I misjudged your timing. We'll try it again. Here we go.
You've got karma.
I want to thank everybody. Remind everyone we have a show on Thursday. We have a good group of producers today. I want to thank every one of them and also the other helpers. And we want to remind people it's Dvorak.org/NA for the upcoming show. Yes. Also, I want to make one mention here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where it is. Yeah, we have a note for Barron's. We stopped for Barron's. We stopped Holt for Barron's.
What's up with the Barron's?
Well, Sir JD came in with a late donation, which will show up on the Thursday show. But he wanted to make sure that we got through a 6464 donation in anticipation of my upcoming today's show mac and cheese analysis.
Oh gosh!
And he vows to keep tomorrow is mac and cheese day, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be in denial.
May I? Well, I'll wait for the analysis. I have something to say about mac and cheese.
Okay. Anyway, he just wanted to get his word in.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. These are actual credits. I explained this to many people who are trying to figure out how this show works. Just like Hollywood, we have executive and associate executive producers, and they really produce the show with not just their direction, but with their financial support. These are real credits, no less than anything else you might see on any of the mainstream shows. In fact, many of the credits you see executive and associate executive producers of news shows have a smaller audience than this, the best podcast in the universe.
True.
And it's the only way we can support ourselves. We do support ourselves. We do not have advertising, which is how we actually able to discuss many of the things and the format of the show. We do not have to break for anything. We can go as long or as short as we want. Nothing is off the table. Ever. Which sometimes leads to hilarity.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Of course, we can always count on everybody out there, the producers, to propagate our formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
pigs in human clothing because we've already done that.
Yeah. And now, at the beginning of the show, we kind of got on a little track, and then we went off into another dimension, and which was very interesting. But I'm going to go back to talking a little bit about some of the battles that the United States is fighting around the world.
And I would say one of those would be
Caliphate. Caliphate's definitely on the list. But so I ran into this clip. I picked it off the Thom Hogan show, and it was with
who's Hogan?
Thom Hogan.
Hogan? You're not thinking is this the?
Oh, you're thinking of Hartman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be Thom Hogan.
Oh, it is? Okay, just so I understand.
Actually, Thom Hogan used to be an editor at InfoWorld. I shouldn't probably use his name.
Just so I understand.
Okay, so we got Thom Hartman.
Wait a minute. You don't have to wait a minute. If you're opening up a segment, we need to open up the segment.
Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot.
Well, no. It's funny that you anticipated the Thom on Ferguson police.
It's the wrong crapo. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that's the way the show works. You do 90%, 95%, 98% of the time you nail it, but this time no. This is the clip.
Buzzing myself.
This is the clip from the Tom Hayden clip.
Okay.
Now Thom had Tom on his show, so it was a Thom and Tom show for a while. And when he played this clip, there's an interesting little tidbit in here that I want to bring in at the end, and it's kind of a mind blower.
I shall be quiet throughout the entire clip, is what you're suggesting I do.
Yeah, it would be okay.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm well. What is the long war doctrine? You've been writing about this. Tell us about it, and who's behind it?
Well, I didn't know anything about it till 12 years ago. I'm holding up a book edited by Andrew Basovich called The Long War. It's a doctrine that was invented by people in the Pentagon about 2004. They said it's going to be a long war stretching maybe 80 years. I think that's because the long war against the Soviet Union lasted 80 years. That would be about 15 presidencies. God knows how many trillions of dollars that we don't have. And one of these authors, the chief advisor to General Petraeus, said that at the time that Iraq was just a small war in the context of a long one. I only offer this advice to help people trying to figure out what's going on. How can this be going on forever? And there is a logic to it, just as there was the Cold War. The logic is to defeat so-called Muslim extremism over a number of battlefields over a number of decades. In the words of Bruce Riedel, CIA analyst and advisor to President Obama recently, we have to stop. We have to keep killing them till they stop killing us.
All right. So the one thing I thought this was interesting because the Long War apparently is a doctrine that
like a policy document
may be underway, but the unique part of this was it was formulated in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened in 2004?
Well, we were in Iraq in 2003.
2004 was a presidential election year.
Yes.
And this is the year that Wesley Clark was given the 7 names.
Well, hold on. First, let's review the Wes Clark 7.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Wes Clark was on CNN, And he doesn't show up that often via remote. When he does, there's a message. It's not just hanging out in the studio. You want to hear that real quick?
Yeah. There are a lot of mixed motives in all of the factional fighting around Syria.
But he is, when you listen to this guy, even though he is a total shill and all in, he messages so beautifully. So when he says there's many motives, he's not kidding. He's not kidding. It's not just the one we're being told here at home.
But what comes through clearly is the United States, we're reevaluating policies. And I think you're going to see us go into Syria with combat multipliers, with airstrikes.
Combat multipliers. Nice.
I love that.
There's more. There's more coming.
Combat multipliers.
There's a lot of good words in this episode of the No Agenda Show, people.
Once suitable intelligence is there.
Suitable intelligence? I just love stopping and listening to the word.
Suitable intelligence. What is unsuitable intelligence?
Snowden.
I think it's very clear from General Dempsey's comments yesterday that we don't anticipate giving ISIS a sanctuary.
But how do you not give them a sanctuary without going against the thing, General Clark, that this president has seemed made a key part of his legacy, which is, I am the president who got America out of 2 wars. That is what he ran on. That is what he has done. And now, not only is it the possibility of whatever word you'd like to use, but military involvement in one of the countries he supposedly got this country out of.
Well, I think what the president's going to say is he's the president of the United States who's working to keep America safe from terrorists.
Well, wait for it. Who is...
Attention, attention. There is a country who needs to pay attention.
Yeah. And that's why he took out Osama bin Laden, and that's why he's going to go after ISIS. They are a threat. They do. But Aaron, the key thing here is the United States is not going to do this alone. We've got to get our regional allies in there. And I want to see the Saudis show some leadership here. They're, after all, the one country in the region that is the most threatened, because how could you have an Islamic caliphate if you don't control Mecca and Medina? So one way or another, that IS is coming after the Saudis, and they need to take action now to go after the IS. Not stand back, go after it now.
Get off your golden toilet, bitches.
That is the clip of the day. You have to play it. I'm sorry.
Really?
That is extremely important clip.
It's an important clip. I agree. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I think there's more to it, but I'll take it anytime I can get it. Clip of the day. This is indeed very big information.
Very important clip.
It's very, very big information. And I have to say again, this is the new setup that I have, and everything's all fixed. And I have now a scanning system on the television that continuously changes channels, but it's all being recorded. So I swing it back, I record it, boom, I've got it. It's great. Of course, I'm a boring husband. I sit at home all day in my studio.
Yeah, while your wife is gallivanting in Los Angeles.
What are you doing there?
Hollywood parties.
Why are you married to that guy?
Why are you married to that guy?
All right, I have a couple more things. I'd really love to move along. I don't know if you wanted to circle back to the doctrine with Wes Clark.
No, I think we just wanted to get that into play.
Great.
Keep an eye on it.
So let's circle right back to Saudi Arabia. The Matt and Harf show. This is our friend Matt from the Associated Press. And there's actually a two-parter. Let me get both pieces here. This is... Now, the president was talking about, hey, we're going to, if you kill an America, we're going to... And this we will be talking about Foley, Jim Foley. If you kill Americans, we'll come after you, we're going to kill you. But, hey, we need to get everyone involved in ISIS. It's, but we're going to kill you if you kill Americans. And so Matt is kind of saying, hey, what's up? What is the deal? Are we waiting for everybody? Does everybody agree? Are we all on the same page? He is obviously short-circuiting Marie's brain, which is kind of funny to watch.
It was a broad statement about the fact that this isn't a U.S. fight against ISIL. This is a fight that every country should feel deeply about and should take on.
Well, I guess I'm just wondering, why did he feel compelled to say something like this if...
Oh, I'm sorry. This start...
After that long lecture.
No. What happened is this is a clip that I had set up, and then I didn't.
The fact that this isn't a U.S. fight against ISIL. This is a fight that every country should feel deeply about and should take on.
Well, I guess I'm just wondering why did he feel compelled to say something like this if, in fact, everything is going along swimmingly? According to,
we would be the last people to say everything's going along swimmingly.
No. And notice how he uses these words to piss her off.
No, but if you're already happy with what the people and governments around the Middle East are doing,
I didn't say happy.
I didn't say.
I think they're dating. I think this is a lover spat. Actually, it doesn't sound like
to extract the cancer.
To be clear,
why would
nobody's happy today about anything related to this?
No, well. All right, happy is not the right word. If you're already satisfied or believe that everyone, governments and peoples across the Middle East are already doing everything they can to extract.
That's also not what I said.
That's not what I said.
I'm trying to find out what the
I know, but what I said to his
means,
answer was we don't have evidence that governments are financially supporting ISIS. Okay. But we need all the governments in the region to work together with us to fight ISIS
Wait a
in any way.
minute.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it claimed early on that it was Qatar that was financing these guys?
Of course. This is
now nobody's financing them, and they got all this money. Are you kidding me?
It's all falling apart, and poor Marie is being held. But she's kind of good at it because she's so annoying in so many ways. I sometimes forget what was said.
Okay, but
because clearly it's a threat that's grown, and clearly I think
I understand this. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm just trying to figure out if
now they're having sex. I'm not trying to be confrontational, honey.
Do you need all the governments to work together? Do you think that they're not all working together now?
Clearly, there's more we can all do to fight ISIL.
All right, so there's no specific country.
Change your Twitter icon and drink this shake.
Correct. That was not intended for any specific country. Okay. It was intended, and I think this is an important point. I think ISIL wants to make this about the United States and our actions. And I think what the president was trying to say is that this is not about the United States and what we do. This is about countries in the region coming together to fight a shared threat, and this is not about us.
Okay. So then Matt he's ready to stick it to her because, of course, we have these horrible, abhorrent, the most violent jihadi group, crazy ass beheading mofos, and he's going to pull the obvious card.
Their barbarity.
Is that an actual word? Barbarity?
Did she say barbarity or barbary? Sound like barbarity to me.
Listen again.
Their barbarity.
No, she's saying barbarity. Is that correct?
I did hear a T in there.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
Okay, I'm cranking it.
Their barbarity.
Okay,
it's definitely saying barbarity. Is that a word? Barbarity?
Yeah, barbarity, sure.
Okay.
Is really boundless.
Boundless. It's an alliteration. Woo! Boundless barbarity. Oh, write it down. We have another possible show title.
And all peace-loving Muslims have to do around the world is look at these photos to know they don't represent their religion. I note that the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, that nation's highest religious authority.
Now, this is where big mistake, Marie. Do not bring in the Saudi Arabia because, especially with the Mufti things, and this is Matt's on it.
Yesterday said that the Islamic State and Al Qaeda were the enemy number one of Islam and not in any way part of the faith. So I certainly don't want to speak for him, but he was very clear about how at least Muslims in his country should view what ISIL is doing.
Go, Matt.
You mentioned the Grand Mufti in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. But, Saudi Arabia is a country in which beheading is actually the legal form of execution, and it's a country that is
And they hate gays. It's illegal to be gay.
Women can't drive.
Don't raft women.
You can beat your wife.
And now, the Grand Mufti, he's all this and that.
This department has long criticized for its human rights record.
That is true.
That is true, but shut up, Matt.
I was just highlighting comments made by
no blowjob for you.
I understand.
Chief religious leader. Look, when we have concerns with some of their practices, we raise those, but that's wholly separate from our counterterrorism cooperation. And I would say I was bringing up the...
Look, there's beheading and hating gays and killing gays, and then there's our counterterrorism cooperation. You really have to see these things in completely different lights. Again, people, we're just trying to help you open your eyes to the insanity that is unfolding before us. Now, On the radar, of course, we have two things. The way I'm seeing it, in this grand game, we are now preparing the public at large for an invasion, a bombing, a destruction of the eastern portion of Syria, which is strategically very important to stop, from my perspective, to stop pipelines from Iran, Iraq into the Syrian port, which is owned by Russia, but also to enable the gas from Qatar up through Homs, Aleppo, all these places that have been bombed into Turkey, into Europe. But it is also, and I was a little on the fence about this earlier, I really believe at this point that this is also a setup for a Sunni-Shia civil war in Iraq, not just in Iraq, but everywhere Sunni Shias shop. And the funny thing is, and this kind of hit me when I was reviewing some of what McCain used to say and how things are setting up now, I believe there might be a backroom deal being done with Iran.
Well, that's been indicated by a number of sources over the last, ever since the Maliki got into the office and couldn't do anything.
But I was kind of ignoring it. And
it makes sense. When I would go along with this thesis because I still think it's the U.S. behind making three countries, and all since the day one. It just took forever to do it. We're not as adept as we think. Mm-hmm. And you got your Shia segment, which is will be closely allied with Iran, and it will prevent a civil war, as far as I can tell. And then you have this ISIL, whatever you want to call it, group in the middle, and then the Kurds, which with our protection
are just pumping oil.
They
are the attendants of the gas station.
There's some other oil wells outside of that area that these other guys can make money on.
Plenty more to do, but it is also really about what we call rubblization. Now, Hayden was this morning. I'm getting ready for 10 minutes before showtime.
And by the way, just to continue my thought, the ISIL thing actually becomes a very interesting buffer state.
Oh, absolutely, it
between
is
the Shia and the Kurds, so that because you don't want the Iranians who are already rich with oil impinging on any of that action.
Oh, this is a pretty good plan. It's bloody and it doesn't behoove a lot of people, but it's a pretty good plan. And so we know that Hayden, former NSA director, former director of the CIA,
right? The
real deal has been out promoting. Did you know that he was a part of the group now, the Chertoff group? I didn't realize he's a main.
I thought we knew this.
Well, that we just to remind ourselves.
Okay, I think we know this.
But he has been pushed into propagating the message.
Yeah, no, he's been pushed into duty as punishment.
I think he has like kiddie porn or something in his background. When I look at this guy, he's so creepy. And I'm like, I have no evidence. He's creepy, icky, and goofy.
I think it's because of I think he's in the penalty box and he's being made to do all this extra work. This is a lot of work to do. He's not pushing a book. He's not got,
No.
If you're going to be hitting this circuit, generally speaking, especially if you show up on Fox, you have a book to sell. And it's all part of your book sales promotion. You don't just come on and yak away like this unless you're an official spokesperson.
Well, he is showing up on CNN all the time. And he is pushing a message that would be very familiar and comfortable to the people who believe in Fox News as being the message. And people, I think, are very comfortable now, which crosses all the lines with the message he is portraying on CNN. What he said this morning, I think there were a number of very important things, particularly as it comes to Syria. And again, this is just showing you Syria. So Saudi Arabia, you're on deck. That's what Wes said. Syria, we are going in. And he has a couple of very, again, just these lovely words and combo words.
What is the direct threat to them? And it's my impression that there's a debate inside the intelligence community as to how imminent that threat is. You have a school of thought that they certainly aspire to attack the American homeland. They have a number of Americans among their ranks, perhaps 100.
Now, this is a script, just so you know. This is
right, and that is part of the script, and it's part of the meme that there's at least 100 Americans. Now, we have an NSA that keeps track of every individual. We should actually have their cell phone numbers if we're any good at what we claim to be doing. Mm-hmm. So this is nonsense. There's there's 100. If there are 100 Americans involved in this, there are 100 American spies, or at least 50. Let's be realistic about this. This is the perfect opportunity.
Again, this is a script, and I want you to listen to Hayden's initial response.
What is the direct threat to them? And it's my impression that there's a debate inside the intelligence community as to how imminent that threat is. You have a school of thought that they certainly aspire to attack the American homeland. They have a number of Americans among their ranks, perhaps 100. But the FBI put out a report this week saying no credible threats yet. Where do you stand in that debate? Is it more imminent or less imminent?
I just pause. We know there is a definite strife between intelligence sources. Here is CIA versus FBI. FBI is trying to undercut them. Hayden is, of course, not going to have any of that. Very important things that are happening. The script is read.
Is this a future threat or a clear and present danger?
Well, Jim, you've outlined it perfectly.
He hasn't said anything. He asked the question, is it this or that?
You've outlined it perfectly.
This is a question of timing, not of inevitability, not of intent. And right now, I think it's fair to say that ISIS is a very powerful local terrorist organization and probably a reasonably powerful regional terrorist organization, but it's one that has global ambitions. And it has the tools, as you suggested. American passport holders or European passport holders. It's expressed the intent. And so if it's not Tuesday, it's at a time and place of their choosing.
Hold on. If it's not Tuesday?
What's happening on Tuesday?
I don't know. I'm landing in Amsterdam on Tuesday.
In California. And I think Wimpy, the guy used to get his hamburgers on payback on Tuesday.
He clearly said if it's not Tuesday.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Tuesday, it's at a time and place of their choosing, and it will come probably sooner rather than later. Look, Jim, they're in a competition.
What is Tuesday?
Now with Al-Qaeda Prime.
What?
Sooner than later.
Sooner than later. Not Tuesday. Could be Monday.
Oh, if it's not Tuesday, it's at a time and place of their choosing, and it will come probably sooner rather than later. Look, Jim, they're in a competition now with Al-Qaeda Prime.
Al-Qaeda Prime.
It's Al-Qaeda Prime?
It's like Amazon Prime. Oh yeah, I'm told you this is great. This is
unbelievable.
This is great stuff. We have
Prime.
I know.
Sooner rather than later. Look,
Self has got to be rolling his eyes at the script. Just read it.
Amazon. I'm sorry, Al Qaeda Prime. Free delivery of your IED with Al Qaeda Prime.
Jim, they're in a competition now with
Amazon.
People, we're laughing because it is hilarious. None of this is true. Yeah, some asshole may shoot something off to make the point, but it's really not true. People die all the time. I hate it. I'm sorry.
These are official lies.
The things happen. People die in car accidents and bathroom. They fall in the tub. People die, and something's going to happen, and someone will die. But the fear, the terrorism that these people are throwing on you, citizens,
it's disgusting.
It is, and do not be afraid. It's just bull crap. You have to laugh at what they're saying.
Oh, if it's not Tuesday, it's at a time and place of their choosing, and it will come probably sooner rather than later. Look, Jim, they're in a competition now with Al-Qaeda Prime. Folks along the Afghan-Pakistan border, and there's no way more powerful to express their street credentials among the jihadist community.
Street creds.
It's a jihadist community.
I think it's a new social network, the jihadist community.
Jihadist community.
Do they have a community center at said jihadist community?
Been a successful attack against the West.
So to be clear, you're saying it's just a matter of time before ISIS attempts to attack or attacks the U.S. homeland.
Just to make sure. I want to make sure we got that clear. Listen up.
I think so, and certainly the West in general, of course, and Americans and American interest in the region right now are at risk. You know, we've kind of underestimated our opponents in the past. We certainly did that. We lacked imagination with 9/11.
We lacked imagination.
Yeah, they could have blown it. They lacked imagination because they forgot they hit WTC-7
with a plane. And they forgot to have some kind of video of a plane hitting the Pentagon. We lack some imagination.
Never came up. I have a couple of questions here.
Do you want? Okay.
Go on. Is he?
Yes. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's good.
We kind of did that with Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
We kind of had some imagination. It's just what he. Let me replay this. We didn't have imagination, but then we did have imagination with Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula with AQAP
drones.
No.
Oh, no. That guy, Mutala.
Yes.
That's very imaginative.
Yes.
Right now.
We got some. Hey, boys, you got a meeting here. We're gonna put a bomb in this guy's crotch.
This is great. This is awesome. What a good idea.
Very imaginative. But how are we going to get him through that sheephole? How are we going to get him?
Call the Dutch. They'll do anything for us. Get some guy. Get an ambassador.
Metal detector is going to catch this probably, or one of the X-ray machines. What are you going to do about it?
We're not going to do nothing about it. We're just it doesn't have to go through it. He didn't go through the metal detector. We have our agent at Schiphol Airport. Get him on the plane without a passport.
You can do that?
Well, we can. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that.
Right. And we'll have this guy light his crotch. This is going to be so cool. He doesn't have to blow anything up. Just his crotch on fire is cool enough.
That's imaginative.
Now you're talking imagination.
Risk. We've kind of underestimated our opponents in the past. We certainly did that. We lacked imagination with 9/11. We kind of did that with Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. We knew they were up to something. We just didn't think it was going to be a Nigerian on an airliner over Detroit
with his pants on fire. No. We knew because we came up with that, and we gave that guy a raise. That was a good one.
Well, we've got the same dynamic here, but it's not just about defense. It's not just about keeping the right people off of aircraft. It's about offense. It's about disabling.
How can it be the right people?
Wait, the right people off aircraft? Now it was the offense. We shoot them at the airport.
Shouldn't it be the wrong people you keep off of aircraft? Or is it the right
that's
people?
That's a good catch.
I'm sorry.
Play it back. Dumb.
People off.
I'm sorry. Keep the right people off aircraft. Yeah, like law-abiding citizens on a don't-fly list. That's what we do.
Over Detroit. Well, we've got the same dynamic here, but it's not just about defense. It's not just about keeping the right people off of aircraft. It's about offense. It's about disabling ISIS. It's about making them more worried, more consumed with protecting their own survivability rather than threatening yours or mine.
Is the U.S. Ability to confront ISIS...
Oh, crap. I'm sorry.
This guy's reading from a script.
No, he is. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Something.
Did you lose the rest of it?
No, I have it. I just have to, for some reason, hold on. Let me just bring it back. I just wanted to get I just wanted to get the last bit in. If you just give me 1 second, I'll bring it up because that really goes to the Syria campaign. Here we go. Play it like this. It should work.
Well,
just bear with me for a second. It only takes a second. Sometimes you're looking for notes. Sometimes I'm playing clips.
Yes, I do that.
Here we go.
And cooperating with our friends in the region, the Jordanians, the Turks, and the Kurds to get ground truth that enables us to conduct...
He says ground truth, by the way, not ground troops, but ground truth. For some reason.
He said ground truth.
He said ground truth, yeah. Not ground troops, but ground truth. And we need ground truth in Syria.
Interesting.
Dangerous as that might be, and cooperating with our friends in the region, the Jordanians, the Turks, and the Kurds to get ground truth that enables us to conduct targeted operations with the kind of exquisite intelligence that...
Exquisite intelligence.
Wow.
We have
another show title loaded today.
Exquisite intelligence.
Exquisite.
But
that intelligence is exquisite.
But these guys have successfully dumbed down the population to the words awesome, amazing, and weird. And they're out there using exquisite, and these guys are good.
Really requires. I agree with you. We're not up to the level of exquisite over Syria. We're not bad along the line of confrontation in Iraq right now, as you can see by the success of the strikes today.
Okay. And then
I've got a bunch of things we have to discuss now.
Yes, I have many more good things, but yes, please go.
Okay, a couple of things that I've noticed with this news cycle and what's been going on, and with guys like this coming out and telling us kind of what the official line is. Early on in this whole deal, there was a targeting of Germany as a problematic situation because there's all these terrorists.
Oh, that's where the 9/11 terrorists
and they were all coming. They all were going back. They were going back from their little battles with German passports, which allow them to come straight into the United States to bomb us. And
Yes.
we have clip after clip of pointing out naming Germany.
Yeah.
This has been dumped. This has been dropped for some reason. We don't know what the reason is, but it's been dropped. It was used as a pressure point, and then it's been dropped. Now it's Americans, 100 Americans exactly, that are going to come back, and they're the ones that are going to come here to bomb us. The Germans are out of the picture.
Although I must say that a lot is also being moved towards the UK and the Netherlands, and people are getting the message that these jihadists have European passports, and because there's no border control, they can freely float
That's
anywhere
fine.
they want.
But I'm still concentrating on Germany because I think this was part of a quid pro quo that allowed Germany to take part in the sanctions against Russia. We're putting the pressure on them just to get those guys to knuckle under, and they did. And I think that's all that was.
Well, Russia is now saying Germany is saying no more new sanctions.
Well, that's because the farmers and everybody all throughout the EU are complaining. I have a clip about that.
Okay.
But let's go back to the other thought of mine, which is that Saudi Arabia being named as you better get involved somehow because these guys are going to go after Mecca and Medina, which makes nothing but sense.
If you want the caliphate, then you need the whole deal. You need everything.
If you want the caliphate, you need those two towns.
Which includes, by the way, Lebanon and Israel.
For the caliphate. But they're not going to. But what they really need are those two towns. Those other things are secondary. That Israel's less important than Mecca.
Yes, I agree. And where is Mecca on the map?
It's in Saudi Arabia toward. I believe it's toward the eastern part of Saudi Arabia, and it's it's where the people. Let's take a look at our maps and we can see where Mecca is.
Yeah, very good, everybody. And the way you do this is very simple in these days of the internet.
Consult the book of knowledge.
Map of Mecca. Okay, it is. Oh, here we go. It's a sacred destination, and it is. It's above Taif. It's about in the middle of Saudi Arabia on the west coast there by the Red Sea, and it is
right. It's on the west coast, and Medina is just north,
and it's right across the river from Sudan. And this is also of note,
which is handy. Yeah,
yes, of note. Yes.
So they'd have to take. They'd be coming in. They'd have to first. They got to get Oman and some of these other Yemen. And then they'd have to. They'd be coming in.
Yemen.
Okay, Iraq is at the north. Okay, they'd come in straight down.
But they can go up from Yemen. We have AQAP in Yemen.
In Yemen, they're in Iraq.
But isn't it all the same dudes?
Well, I think the Yemenis guys are different. No, we don't have the control. We're assuming that this is an American operation in Iraq.
Okay,
and they have to come straight down.
There's a lot of desert.
And it's a lot of desert, which is you could take that over inside. I mean, most of the Iraq area that they took over is all deserts, as you can see by the map that I included in the newsletter.
Yes,
it shows the population density, and most of these guys they've taken over a bunch of desert areas. And then in Saudi Arabia, I'm looking at a map that shows an empty quarter over in the southeast by the United Arab Emirates. Anyway, so they could. They can make a move on this. There's a lot of desert to get through. The Strait of...
They got to go straight down to funky cold Medina. Or they could just hop on a boat.
The boat's not going to work. You're going to have to just take land.
They could open the Stargate in the Gulf of Aden.
If they're hungry for fish.
Okay, move on. I'm liking your analysis.
Let's just say that this is part of the scheme. We've already warned Saudi Arabia they got to get their act together, and they're not going to do anything, of course.
No.
And so So I think it's a possibility that these guys can take, because Saudi Arabia is due to be rebelized. Let's face it.
And they're just going to say whatever, because Riyadh, or as you like to say, Riyadh, is nowhere near.
Because they want to get Riyadh.
It's not even the line of fire. It's more to the east. It's not.
It's not in the line of fire at all.
No, at all.
In fact, all the oil-producing spots, I think, are over in that side, too. Medina and Mecca are in the middle of nowhere.
So that's all good. It's good. It's good.
It's good. I think this will work.
It's very good.
Anyway, and it's exquisite.
Well, exquisite when it comes to intelligence. It's completely exquisite. Now,
but they've been brought into play with this commentary from Clark. So
Yes.
I think Clark is like he's the
flag
messenger for people in the know. He's going to have coded messages in there. The code in this case was mentioning Saudi Arabia.
Now we have. I thought the Hagel and Dempsey show was exquisite as well. And this was done at the Pentagon, in the Pentagon briefing room, which includes a whole bunch of different types of questioners with different scripts. And Hagel, as we know, is he's kind of like the dad on Happy Days, you know. He's there, and whatever he says makes sense in the story. But he was hyping it up a little bit, and I kind of liked where he was going because he pulled out, well, he's not a great actor, but he pulled out a lot of things that really accentuated what the message is about how incredibly dangerous and how we, of course, have to start doing things. There may even be something about Saudi Arabia here, but I just wanted to play these two clips from the Hagel and Dempsey show. Hagel, of course, is the Secretary of Defense for the United States, a complete moron. And General Dempsey is the chief of staff. He's in charge of all the generals, and he's a leprechaun. Is how don't you think he's like he may be a leprechaun? He's got
that little that leprechaun stuff. Now we've gotten different input on him. One is that supposedly he's a good guy that behind closed doors saves the country from doing a lot of stupid stuff.
I think he's given up. I think.
Let me finish, because it's possible he's got nothing but flack, especially from the right and from the left,
and from his own people.
Yeah,
the military is pissed.
It's a lot of flack for actually not. I believe because I don't think he goes by wants to go by the Obama script. I think he's probably thinking more
I'm sorry. You think this is an Obama script
or whatever? Okay, whoever. No, the shadow government script.
Yeah.
The CIA script or whatever script it is, somebody's script that he doesn't like, and he goes out of his way. And I think he's got Obama's ear a lot of times, and because Obama's being badgered by everybody, and he's doesn't know what he's doing apparently.
Right.
And so they'd like to get rid of Dempsey because I believe he's a roadblock to whatever the schemes are.
Well, he is laying back really cavalier. His whole body language is saying, "Yeah, I'll whatever. I'll just say it, whatever you want." Oh yeah, his body language is disengaged.
I think he's threatened. They're threatening his job.
I get a different vibe. I get a I don't care anymore vibe from him.
Okay. Well, I don't have a visual here, but play.
Isn't the calculation, though, that ISIL presents a 9/11 level threat to the United States?
Oh, man, this is good. Yeah,
Who asked that?
The uncredited actor playing a journalist in the front row.
Wow.
Jim, ISIL is as sophisticated and well-funded as any...
There are a bunch of guys on the back of pickup trucks with machine guns.
Remember...
How sophisticated is that?
It's exquisite. This is Hagel, and he's going to talk about the funding twice, which is funny.
Jim, ISIL is as sophisticated and well-funded as any group that we have seen. They're beyond just a terrorist group. They marry ideology, a sophistication of strategic and tactical military prowess. They are tremendously well-funded.
You already said that, Hagel. Tremendously well-funded, which means, so you have about $500 billion, and you go stand on the corner and say, hey, I got a lot of money here. Who wants to give me some weapons?
Huh.
And where does that come from? We know where it comes from.
Oh, this is beyond anything that we've seen. So we must prepare for everything.
Everything. Just for everything. Prepare for everything.
And, the only way you do that is you take a cold, steely, hard look at it and get ready.
This guy's an idiot.
Now, you take a cold, steely, hard look at it because that's how
this guy ever get this job?
Well, some actors get in through the casting couch, John. You know how that works. And
What's a possibility?
Look, the guy reads his lines and doesn't bump into furniture. It's good enough.
Prepare for everything. And the only way you do that is you take a cold, steely, hard look at it and
like this guy's ever seen any military action. Yeah, I'm going to go in there with my RPG and my Rambo knife.
Get ready.
Well, the immediacy.
Here's Dempsey.
Immediacy is in the number of Europeans and other nationalities who have come to the region to become part of that ideology, and those folks can go home at some point. It's why I have conversations with my European colleagues about their southern flank of NATO, which I think is actually more threatened in the near term than we are. Nevertheless, because of open borders and immigration issues, it's an immediate threat. That is to say, the fighters who may leave the current fight and migrate home. Longer term, it's about ISIL's vision, which includes, I actually call ISIL, here we go, right? ISIS, ISIS, because it's easier for me to remember that their long-term vision is the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham. And al-Sham includes Lebanon, the current state of Israel, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, and Kuwait. If they were to achieve that vision, it would fundamentally alter the face of the Middle East and create a security environment that would certainly threaten us in many ways.
Yeah, Dempsey. Yeah. Well, there's a little more,
They would achieve that. So far, all they've gotten was a lot of desert.
Well, yeah, come on, man. This is good. This is the top military dude in the country. Both of them.
Caliphate!
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is clip 2. Is this the one I want? I think it is. Yes.
We continue to explore all options regarding ISIL and how best we can assist partners in that area, the Middle East, and particularly in Iraq, against ISIL. You all know that in the president's...
And here he says ISIL right after he said ISIS.
Request in OCO for a $5 billion anti-terrorism fund. There was $500 million in there to assist
this is not Dempsey, though. This is... Is
that Hagel?
Yeah, that's Hagel.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What, okay. Well, he is talking now about the money. This is what the counterterrorism fund was for. But he's saying, but we have this money. Does anyone want to take this money? We got $5 billion, $500 million right now, $4.99. Anyone want to take this money?
Opposition. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're doing, and we will continue to stay focused, as I said, on what we're doing now and exploring all options as we go forward.
The options that you refer to include airstrikes across the border.
Airstrikes.
Like I said, we're looking at all options.
General, do you believe that ISIS
No, this is a different question.
Or destroyed without addressing the cross-border threat from Syria?
To your question, can they be defeated without addressing that part of their organization which resides...
Yeah, he's got a clearer voice. When Hagel's voice breaks up, it's always got a crack in it. Then Dempsey's clear.
Right. Syria, the answer is no. No. That will have to be addressed on both sides of what is essentially at this point an non-existent border. It requires a variety of instruments, only one small part of which is airstrikes.
Variety of instruments. A variety of instruments as we continue our surgical operation with our exquisite intelligence.
I'm not predicting those will occur in Syria, at least not by the United States of America, but it requires the application of all of the tools of national power, diplomatic, economic, information, military.
They're beyond just a terrorist group.
All right, there we go. So we've heard that part. All right.
They're beyond a terrorist group.
I have a fun little bit as the news media, local.
How many people are buying this bull crap?
Everybody. People are genuinely fearful, and this is why it has to be repeated. A lot of stuff doesn't work anymore, and I think they are making some mistakes. But there's a good package that I saw this in D.C. or I saw a news report, and then I found this package. And Brian the Gay Crusader, who helped us tremendously with his white paper on the phony baloney Putin homophobia, is in Chicago. And he's been doing a lot of work with me over the past couple of days. And then I don't think he actually sent me this clip, but somehow I'm tuned into Chicago. And this is an ISIS threat. I believe I saw the same picture in front of the same idea of a cell phone picture with something written in Arabic held in front of a building of importance. In this case, it was, or in the previous case, it was the White House, and now it was a building in Chicago. And here's the Chicago local news, which I think does impact people's thinking. When it's your local news team were on the street looking out for your interests with weather on the 8s, it is
usually traffic on the 8s, weather on the 6s.
Sometimes horrible back and forth coming on the heels of the U.S. bombing of ISIS forces in Iraq. Facebook and Twitter pages with titles like hashtag a message from ISIS to U.S. and vice versa. There, near the top of this tit for tat, is the gruesome video and pictures of journalist James Foley's beheading.
He was strong, courageous, loving to the end. I mean, we just hardly recognize our little boy. I mean, he was just a hero.
As a mother and father's grief goes public, some Americans posted on the site disgusting photoshopped images of Islamic religious leaders having sex with animals and images of U.S. firepower.
People harm Americans anywhere. We do what's necessary to see that justice is done.
We take a cold, steely, hard look.
One of the tweets shows the ISIS flag in front of the White House. But scroll down a little farther and you see a picture that might look familiar. Not the writing, which is in Arabic, but the building in the background. That is on Michigan Avenue. 307 North Michigan Avenue, to be precise. It's at the corner of Michigan and South Water, and it's called the Old Republic Building. No cameras in the lobby. No cameras in the lobby? What we found online was stunning, so we brought it to the attention of the building's security team. The apparent message in this photo, dated June 20th of this summer, is soldiers of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria will pass from here soon. Other tweets show the same two pictures saying, "We are in your state, we are in your cities, we are in your streets.
Would you like a pizza?
You are our goals anywhere." More tweets say, "We are here, hashtag America, near our hashtag target."
With my hashtag.
Oh, God. That's a clip of it. That's a clip you take a. We are here, hashtag America, next to our hashtag target.
With our
Yeah, that's it.
Are our goals anywhere? More tweets say, "We are here, hashtag America, near our hashtag target, soon." No one in security at the Old Republic building would comment, nor did the Secret Service, the FBI, or Chicago police.
Now, to be clear, we don't know who took this photo and posted it. No one knows why yet this building, but it is part of a battle of words and images going viral between apparent ISIS followers and U.S. citizens now.
That's right. We are now fighting on Twitter. We are fighting ISIS on Twitter, but we're taking wood.
Like a Star Trek episode.
We're taking the wood to ISIS, baby.
The wood.
Okay, now, this brings me to... Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to do it. This brings me to James Foley. We do not have to deconstruct any more about the video. I think we're very clear on that.
No, but I would like to play a clip. The Foley clip. Just so we have a background here, because I do have one thing to add.
Of course. As you prefer. It's dealer's choice.
This is the backstory about Hostage Foley.
Mm-hmm. Any other intro, or is that good enough?
That's good enough.
Tonight, we know ISIS demanded a fortune for journalist James Foley before they beheaded him. $132 million, a ransom the U.S. refused to pay. But we've learned the military did try to rescue him. The hostages, including Foley and 3 others, were thought to be at this camp inside an oil refinery in northern Syria, an area controlled by ISIS. 24 Special Operation Forces commandos dropped from Black Hawk helicopters outfitted with stealth technology to avoid detection. With surveillance aircraft overhead.
What? Stealth technology. He was dressed in a cloaking shield as he repelled from the Black Hawk, which has no apparent stealth technology. Bullcrap!
With surveillance aircraft overhead, the team swooped in to search for the hostages. They encountered ISIS militants and engaged in a firefight. But the hostages were gone. Several ISIS fighters were killed. One American commando was injured. The rest were flown to safety. U.S. officials admit that the covert mission launched in early July was based on good but not great intelligence about the location of the hostages.
Okay, now, this is a lie. There is no official on record. They say U.S. officials. There is no one on record about this. No one, not a single person. This is a lie.
They had a nice animation.
Oh, well, of course, that makes it believable.
Well, they screwed up because they could have had sound effects.
Just like, so I started elsewhere. I started with the $133 million, which was irritating to me for a number of reasons. One, because they could just say it was 100 million euros because that's the translation they're making. They had to slide to $132 million when the dollar became a bit stronger. Who was this attributed to? I was interested in knowing. And I went to something that I have seen no one do other than the narrative. So two things. This video is not even important if you see the video or not. We all know brutally beheaded. We didn't see it. It's not actually there. We don't think it happened at all. There's no blood. There's nothing. But okay, it doesn't matter. This worked. It's fine. The message is clear. Brutally beheaded.
And what's interesting to me about that, and then the other guy, they got another guy now they're going to behead, is it's the one guy standing there when almost all the beheadings and all the other exhibits that are online.
They've got dudes going, Allahu Akbar!
They got 4 or 5 people in the background, and then they have the Oakland Raider flag is there, and all the stuff, and it's a different thing. Now you have one guy standing by himself with apparently he could be single-handing the camera. He may set up shop with the camera by himself, like cheap productions in certain local markets, right?
Yep.
Where you do a stand-up.
Yeah, you set it up, you frame it, and you get in front. Yeah. And he had to switch because he had to put the mic on him. So the mic,
he had only one mic.
Yeah, had to stop, and there's lots of fade cuts there. It's not like I had a multi-camera shoot. They stopped and
little post on it. With the
so there are real beheading videos out there, and the real beheading videos are not with a lav microphone, and the guys are not all wearing baklavas. They got big ass knives, and they cut from the back to the front because that's how you kill animals. This is how slaughtering of sheep is done this way. I have 2 emails from 2 of our native Arabian Muslim producers. Number 1, hey, a few observations about the video since I'm a native Arab Muslim, and I had my share of crap that I see online and TV. The English chap, John, is left-handed. Islamic strict teaching discourages the use of the left hand to eat, shake hands, receive something from someone, and slaughter animals. It's clear that John didn't do it if it happened at all. IS militants, Nusra, Free Army, and other groups are quite fast in chopping heads. From other videos I saw, they chop heads within 9 seconds. John's hand is clean when he grabs the other journalist at the end of the video. It's quite windy, but you don't hear the wind. John's shirt is clean and ironed. Look at the land and the slippers of Foley. It looks like this region. It looks like the Gulf region sand, and the slippers look familiar to the ones worn here. 2 minutes. 2 minutes in the movie, you'll see that Foley is poorly shaved, bad barber. The body shot has a knife that looks different than the one John is using. And he said, however, this ship has sailed is indeed an Arabic saying, which we had questioned. I think the left hand, and he did use his knife in the left hand, is very, very damning evidence. Then we have Ahmed, who comes in with more native analysis. I listened to episode 645 and your commentary about the video and the president's speech about ISIS. As a person of Middle Eastern descent who speaks fluent Arabic and who follows lots of news and shows on Middle Eastern TV, this is why we are the
best podcast in the universe.
I wanted to point out a few things. 1, I did not personally watch Foley's beheading video, but I heard you and John say they used a pen or small knife to cut his head off. Here are a few things to note. In Saudi Arabia, where they implement the strictest Sharia law, when they execute someone because he has committed murder, it is by a sword, a big, sharp one. It's typically by one blow to the head, to the back of the neck that splits the head from the body. B, when different terrorist groups in the Middle East like to make a scare buzz in the media, they typically will execute people by having them get down on their knees and shoot them in the back of the head or just have them lay face down, hands tied behind their backs, and again, just unload their AKs into them like prisoners of war. C. As far as I know, the only thing that involves a knife and cutting the throat is when slaughtering animals. 2. You both commented on Obama's speech on ISIS when he said, they have no religion. And John said that it was poorly written. You'll recall this?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, says our analyst, this statement is a literal translation of an Arabic statement. This makes me wonder if the person who wrote the speech for Obama is of Middle Eastern origin. Cannot prove or disprove this, but I tell you, I have never heard that statement used in the U.S. before. A literal translation from Arabic. Of note, and I think we should pay attention to that. Yeah, it doesn't impress you. I'm sorry. I thought you would be more impressed.
Well, I don't need to be that impressed.
Okay.
I like these guys coming in with this stuff because it brings us down to a reality that there's apparently none of the news media wants to deal with.
And that
they just take everything at face value and run with it.
So this very heroic American journalist of great stature worked for an outfit called the Global Post, which is not really mentioned. He worked for the Global Post. Well, let's take a look at the Global Post, shall we? The Global Post has no reasonable business model. They're selling $10 CPM banner ads in order to make money. All of their journalists are freelancers. In fact, Jim Foley was a freelancer in Iraq, and he sold his stories and had a donate button on his in-iraq.org website, which you can still find on archive.org. Just because I thought it was funny, it was available, so I registered it, and now I own it. But that was his website, in-iraq.org, where he was in Iraq and selling his stories, as he would say. The Global Post, I'm reading from the Book of Knowledge, is an online U.S. news company that focuses on international news, founded on January 12, 2009 by Charles M. Sennett and Philip S. Balboni. Before I go further into Balboni, I want to circle back to the $133 million that was obviously just a non-starter for us to pay. And let me play for you.
Can I mention something here?
Please.
Which is this is family research. The family came up with this. Apparently, there used to be an international agreement that when a citizen was captured in these situations, the country would pay the money, the ransom money, and that's still the case with Germany, France, Italy, UK, everybody. But we, at some point, without really much of an announcement, opted out completely. And the United States will not pay any ransom, and we actually, as a country, require the family to pay if anybody's going to pay at all.
Unless it's Sergeant Bergdahl, and then we'll trade out some
which
guys.
Is also peculiar if you think about it, because the policy is not to pay anything ever.
Yeah.
The family has to pay.
We don't even remember yesterday's news, let alone that bit.
Anyway, so go on.
Okay, so I've been looking into...
Bergdahl.
Yeah, I've been looking into...
Bergdahl!
I've been looking into this...
By the way, I keep interrupting. What is the deal? What happened with Bergdahl's news? Why come nobody has covered the guy since 2-3 months ago? He's just been dropped out of the news cycle. It's like, Bergdahl's story, forget it.
Because we had an earthquake. Because we had kids dying in Gaza. This is the whole point. Throw it at it. Throw them at it.
Earlier part of the show. Okay, now I'm going to shut up. Go.
No, I'll need your input. Global Post. John, this is a bogative bullcrap outfit. This is not a real news organization with a bunch of people who are freelancing and $20 for their story. But the founders of this organization are definitely interesting. Let us go to the website Global Post. While I'm going to play a clip for you on globalpost.com. Meanwhile, I would like you to take a look at the founders of this organization. Look at their bios. These are very, very heavy and hard hitters for the clear non. Can you look up and see what the traffic is? Can we still do that? It's like a. What do you use to see the traffic of a website?
You could okay, I can get some sketchy traffic.
Get some sketchy traffic. And I found a very recent interview with the CEO and co-founder of Global Post, talking specifically about the ransom, and that the bombing, of course, sealed his fate. That they were in conversations, and the amount of the ransom, which we all know now, and you just played in that very official sounding clip, is $133 million.
We never hesitated on that. I mean, I'm fully conversant with the United States laws on this. I'm fully conversant with the kind of body of discussion in journalism about paying a ransom and how it might stimulate others. But when it's your person, your child or your colleague, and you know it's the only way to bring them home, that's what you do. And that's why the family, with our help, was deeply engaged in raising that money. And we ran out of time. When the bombing began, that sealed Jim's fate, unfortunately. These people don't have any mercy, and if they can't have money, they'll have revenge, and they took it.
What was the particular amount that they demanded?
We did learn from the European journalists who were freed the amount of the ransoms that were paid by their government or with their government's assistance.
Which would, I presume, be 100 million euros.
And it was in the range of 2 to 3.5 million euros, or let's say around $5 million. We felt that $5 million was the amount that we needed to raise in order to bring Jim back.
Oh, well, really? This is his boss running the Global Post website, who was trying to raise $5 million. So I'm going to just presume that maybe this SEALs with stealth technology rappelling down from Black Ops was crap as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Balboni is the president, chief executive, and founder of Global Post, one of the country's leading journalist entrepreneurs. During his career, has been the direct leadership of nearly every major award in American journalism, including a Peabody Awards, DuPont, Columbia, Murrow, Emmy Awards. He is the founder of NECN, New England Cable News. Mm-hmm. He served as special assistant, the chief executive of the Hearst Corporation. This is a very, very big level heavy hitter. But there's some other interesting people on board who have backgrounds in USAID, HK&A Consulting, which I think is Hill & Knowlton some acquisition they did, Benjamin Gomez, the Pilot House Associates. This is a very large, very big money. Pilot House Associates, LLC in Boston's Family Investment Office. Big money. This is the Hosteters. Amos B. Hostetter Jr., co-founder, former chairman, chief executive of Continental Cablevision. So these people are all over media, and they have this rinky-dink global... I mean, the Intercept, Pierre Drive My Car's outfit is more impressive than what these guys have put together. But somehow they've got this whole thing set up, and they have a very interesting foundation called, which is the Funders Ground Truth Project. So the funders of Global Post have the Ground Truth Project Foundation, which is funded by, oh God, you're going to love this, the Galloway Family Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Bake Trust family, the Henry Lucci Foundation, the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting, and, of course, in partnership with the Kaiser Family Foundation. This is all tied into Global Post. Jim Foley himself, on his LinkedIn profile, which I can only assume is real, lists a number of his jobs, including in March of 2008, July 2008 to March 2010, he was a reporting officer for USAID in Tatweer, Baghdad. USAID, as you know, is State Department. You might as well just say that as part of the intelligence community, the exquisite intelligence that we have.
Well, it's actually one of the key elements in the economic hitman thesis.
The Tatweer Project is for developing national capacity in public management, specifically in Iraq. So he was a part of that, and it's related to Tatweer Oil Services and Drilling, again, Basra and Iraq. And so he was doing this somehow. Then he decided to become a journalist, and he was, of course, a fearless journalist. I do not dispute that at all. However, there was a interview, quite irritating interview, with two of his siblings, his brother Michael and his sister Kate. And I will play with, of all people, Katie Couric, who now is doing this exclusively for Yahoo. And she's very familiar with the setup. She's in the Yahoo studio. Everything is exactly the way she would like to do it. There's even, they've got a little bit of the delay going on. The brother Michael has an IFB in. The sister, that I could tell, does not have an IFB. She's very quiet during most of the interview. The entire family is military.
Why would a person being interviewed in a live environment like that have an IFB unless they were the interviewer only?
Well, it could.
I mean, there's no reason. I've done these. There's no reason for the interviewee to have an IFB unless they're being coached.
If they both had it, I would say it's because they needed to hear the questions.
Oh, were they weren't in studio then?
They were in their family home.
Oh, okay.
But
you could have an IFB.
I did not.
Should both have an IFB.
Thank you. So look. I only have one camera view, so I can't. And she has long hair, so I can't really see.
So she could possibly have one.
Yes, but he is in control of this interview. He is taking obvious commands to the IFB. Well, first let me give you some background on the family from the interview itself with Katie. Oh, by the way, everything is perfect for Katie, but what she's missing, and I'm sure she's angry about it, they do not have the lighting at NBC that she is used at Yahoo that she is used to at NBC. And this will be a point of contention for her. This will be a contractual negotiating point. It's pathetic. The Curry DeVar Consulting Group will gladly help you with your lighting.
Katie, I know you're a nurse in the Navy.
And there you go, a nurse in the Navy.
As you said, 5 kids in your family. 2 of your brothers are in the military.
So that means 2 of your brothers, that's 3, and then so only one of them is not in military in one form or the other. So this is just a military family. It is a military family. And I'll play the rest of that clip later. Here, this is important. I want you to listen to the opening of this interview. The first thing I didn't like is they're sitting in the family home, and you see it's the family home. And if you're in the family home and you're doing an interview and you are saying that you've been with the family and it's been a very good time and we've had, we're coming together and we're remembering our brother. Are you drinking Starbucks during the interview, or do you have a nice cup of freshly brewed coffee that your family members of Leveling put together for you?
I would have a cup of a family mug probably from the kitchen with something in it, a drink, water, a coffee, tea.
Mm-hmm. I did not like this at all. And
it was a Starbucks cup?
Yes, it was a Starbucks cup.
In the family home.
In the family home. Well, now...
Maybe the crew brought a bunch of Starbucks for him.
He's in the family home. They do not live in the family home. They've come home to be with the family, and they do talk in this. I don't have it, but they do talk in this interview about how it's been loving to remember Jim and to be together. And they got little kids running around. Didn't hear any of that, by the way. And then the interview opens, and listen carefully.
First of all, we'd like to extend our deepest sympathies to both of you and your entire family. I think it's hard for all of us, Katie and Michael, to imagine the pain you've been going through.
Did you hear that?
That noise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did hear it.
What do you think that was? Of all the things that could happen in your family home.
Well, it sounded like a piece of the set fell over.
Oh, God, you are good. Go to the following URL, John C. Dvorak, as I have pre-produced this, itm.im/
Hold on.
Foley Kids, FOLEYKIDS. and tell me when it's rolling, and just watch that. That is the video of what you just heard. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rolling it now, which is probably...
And tell me what you see. There you go. Yeah, I can hear you.
We are in Dover, New Hampshire this morning. First of all, we'd like to extend our deepest sympathies to both of you and your entire family. I think it's hard for all of us, Katie and Michael, to imagine the pain you've been going through.
Oh, it's interesting.
How often does it happen in your family home that a picture on the wall, not only does it fall off, it just drops off the wall, but you also do not respond to it? This is a set, John. This is a set, and the same stagehand who brought him the Starbucks coffee didn't nail that picture in properly. I'm sorry.
It does. It looks like it was glued on.
And now you look at that whole video in a different aspect, and it looks like a set.
It does look like a set. I mean, it looks like a crappy set.
Yes. Hello, Yahoo.
Well, this doesn't surprise me with Yahoo and the lighting and all the rest of it. I mean, they've done video over the years, and it's always bordering on a cheap production. They don't understand the expense mechanism. To do these things right, it costs money. And
let's listen to.
And they're so screwed up. Let me just got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but they don't even have an embed code. As far as I know, you can't embed any of these videos. They got David Pogue doing stuff. They got Katie doing stuff, and you can't put them on a blog.
I am exposing the media. That's all right. Yeah. You're right. There's no embed code. Clearly. So I'm sorry. This may be the family. They seem to all be in intelligence. I'm looking at a very strange organization that this man was working for. It's not NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. No, it's not any of that. No, where are his great? We've got some pictures of him. Where are his great award-winning reporting? Where is all of that? Oh, yes, I will point out that the Peabody Award that Global Post won was actually from a partnership. They produce video for PBS. They sell their news stories to PBS. Which really makes you wonder what
NewsHour.
Photos falling off the wall does not happen, and when it does, and if you the video is hard to parse because it's me with a screen grab reposting it. The daughter, her mouth flinches for a nanosecond, but there is no other response from them. So MK Ultra, perhaps, I don't know, but listen to the brother prompt her.
Has this made you rethink your commitment to the military? Has it shaken your resolve in any way, Katie, or the resolve of your brothers to serve their country?
But I hear the IFB, and it could be with a delay, or I don't know what's going on, but I hear noise.
Probably a delay.
Not at all. I'm so proud to be an American.
Okay, let me understand this. Why does she say, why is this her answer? I'm so proud to be an American because Obama bombed ISIS and my brother's head got cut off, according to the narrative. And I'm here in the studio and I'm proud to be American.
I'm so thankful to be a part of this country and to be a part of a group of people that really have gotten behind us and supported us. I think if anything, it's the opposite.
Who is behind you?
I think
jump in. She's freezing up.
Epitomized
the American spirit. Really.
MK Ultra, I'm telling you. I hate to be a dick about it, but here is another flub from her where he jumps in again.
It's believed that the despicable person who did this to your brother is in fact a British citizen. When you learned that, when your family learned that, what was your reaction?
Here it comes.
I don't know if we really focused on where he was from or really, that piece of it. I think we're all just praying that he and the other captors can be merciful at some point. I don't.
What?
I don't.
She's freezing. Jump in.
I think he being an English citizen has much to do with it.
I'm sorry, an English citizen. That's interesting. So she now is talking about she should say British, but one of the captors might have been English or might have been from London.
He being an English citizen
she says English citizen, so she's been told something here.
has much to do with it other than I hope that,
jump in. Jump in!
Yeah, I mean, we've been so close to this for so long. There are hordes of Europeans that are over there. We've even spoken with parents that have children that have fled and defected.
She's either drugged or something's very right. I know I know there are people who think I'm such an a-hole for doing this, but I have to be skeptical about all the things I'm reading and seeing.
No, you're right on the money on this one.
Sorry,
this is a good catch.
Really,
this would be clip of the day almost.
I have to give a lot of thanks to Brian the Gay Crusader, who is really
he dug the stuff up. Good for him.
Well, I got the video, but he's been working on a lot of the backstory and the, especially on Global Post, which is all in the show notes at 646.noagendanotes.com or nashownotes.com. Just one more little bit about the negotiations, I think. Just one last bit. It's a very, very troubling interview.
Do you agree with President Obama's assertion that the U.S. will not scale back its military action following your brother's death?
I do, but the thing that I really am frustrated by, Katie, and I don't even know if I should really get into this, but
why not? Why not?
But you can accomplish both things. The United States could have done more on behalf of the Western and American hostages over there, and still, dealt with the broader worldwide issues, and other nations have done that, and that's been a source of frustration for me. And I really hope that
really
in some way Jim's death pushes us to take another look at our approach, our policy to terrorist and hostage negotiations, and rethink that. Because if the United States is doing it one way and Europe's doing it in another way,
there's no consistency.
There's no consistency. She sounds like she's hypnotized.
Definition, it won't work.
What?
It's very strange.
So,
when you're talking about the policy, do you mean the policy of not paying ransom or not exchanging money for captives?
That's correct. David Rode wrote a good piece, and I think it was in Reuters or The Atlantic.
This was, to me, the way he says, I don't know what this guy does. I can't find any background on him. But was it David Rode wrote on The Atlantic? He sounds like a television pundit all of a sudden. And David Rode is a journalist who was also taken hostage, and I think they negotiated for him. But it's so a matter of the fact that he hangs out with David Rode. David Rode wrote this great. This is how elites talk, man. It was just a fabulous piece that Brooks wrote in the New York Times.
That's correct. David Rode wrote a good piece, and I think it was in Reuters or The Atlantic on this very subject. And it's frustrating. I understand why we're such a large nation. It's difficult to cover all the bases, but even take the money aside, there's things that can be done. We are sitting on prisoners, for example, in Guantanamo. It doesn't even have to be financial.
And by the way, we actually are sitting on the prisoners, on their heads in Guantanamo. So there's a message.
The message is we got to get these guys out of Guantanamo.
Yep, there's the message.
It seems as though that was messaging going on there to get. We can't because we've agreed not to pay money, but there's these prisoners in Guantanamo, and this gives us the out that we need to get these jokers out of here.
Yep, that's what I heard.
Yeah, to get these guys out of here because we can't seem to close Gitmo, but we could if we had more of these captors. We'll give you 3 Gitmo guys for that guy. Okay, we'd like to get 5. Four.
Until it's empty. Until it's all empty.
Yeah.
And the thing I love is that, and of course, being from the future, I predicted the Pope who would be Pope, and I called him by name months before he actually became Pope.
Yes, remind us of this, which your future self said you'd do that.
I would actually, my future self was kind of annoyed with my current self doing it a lot. But Pope Francis, he's in on this. He's calling the family. Pope Francis calls them. Does Pope Francis call anybody else? Does he?
Because people dropping left and right all over the place for all kinds of terrible reasons.
So why all of a sudden? And of course he's sending people. He's sending a cardinal over. But is this Pope? Is he now in on? Is he in on it?
I have no idea why this is happening. We have to keep an eye on this. This is
the Pope. The Pope. It's not just weird. No, it is probably.
I said weird,
but I'm not going to budge.
But you didn't honk the horn. You didn't startle me
because it is perhaps weird.
You have to startle me.
I'm sorry. I'll work on it. The last thing, and then I'll get off of this, but I think I've kind of shot my wad for you, and I hope you enjoyed it.
It was good. I think it's one of your best analysis of the last month.
Here is Dan Rather, and I would say, attention, everybody.
Attention. If you want to make a quick $5 million, attention.
Would you do the tube, please?
What would you like me to say?
Attention, jihadist kidnappers.
Attention, jihadist kidnappers. Would you like to make a quick $5 million?
Well, it's one thing for governments, such as ours and the British government, to take a stand and say, we don't pay ransom. And by making that right out front, the governments take the view it will discourage the taking of the kidnapping of journalists. But as was stated before to you, Brian, when it's your son or daughter, when it's someone in your organizations you've worked with, it's a whole different thing.
Do the tube again. Do the tube.
It's a whole different thing.
No, with the call out, man, with the attention. Do the attention.
Attention, jihadists. Attention. Would you like to make a cool $5 million?
And I can't blame anyone for trying to ransom a journalist out. And I would say this, if some member of our Dan Rather Reports team was kidnapped, I'd be looking to negotiate for ransom. And you can criticize that if you want, damn if you want. But the loyalty to our people who work with us and take these great chances engenders loyalty back.
Hello. Hey, Dan, is this Dan Rather Reports?
Dan Rather Reports here. I'm the executive producer, Phil.
Hey, Phil, Dan Rather Reports. I was just watching Dan on, I think it was a CNN. He was brought in to talk about, the Foley guy.
Yeah, he was?
I quit!
Okay. The end of the Dvorak Curry Players.
Handsome Dan the Ransom Man, everybody. Hey!
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
We have a few people who helped us on show 646 that we want to thank one at a time, starting with Dame Sam. Good old Samantha.
Hey,
Manor in Box Hill, South Victoria, Australia, 12345. Sorry for the delay in donations, guys. The clip of the end of Club 33 was pretty close to what went down not long ago, but at the house of dubious repute nearby. It still goes on. Can I get a karma shot for all at the round table? Regards, Dame Samantha.
We're gonna roll it out for everybody at the end of the segment. Absolutely, Dame Samantha.
Mathieu. Helly. In Gatineau, Quebec, 12345. Chris Daly in Beaverton, Oregon, he was very appreciative of the engineered disease.
Is there a reason? Oh, no. Mathieu is the one about.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But then you said Chris Daly.
Yeah. Chris Daly, 123.
Sorry.
Beaverton, Oregon. Kathleen Heineman in Monaca, Pennsylvania, and she did mail in a note, which I will have to dig up for you.
She got a birthday. She got a birthday call out. I see, as her name is highlighted in yellow.
Yes, she has a birthday call out.
The back office.
What is it? There we go. She wrote a handwritten note. This donation will be a surprise to my husband, John. Another surprise.
Aww.
This is the second one in today's show of a wife surprising her husband. He keeps saying that he needs to donate again because he listens to you guys faithfully. Our anniversary, another anniversary, coincidentally. This is
nice.
It's not the same person, is it? No.
No, I don't think so.
Our anniversary is August 21st, 22 years. It's almost the same number of years. We should introduce these two couples.
They might be good swingers.
And his birthday is August 24th. So he needs deboning. Deboned. He needs to get deboned. Karma, put the karma at the end for a job.
Different show.
Different show. He is thinking about and would love an amazing. We add it to the list. Get that pen.
Oh, wait, do I need my pen again?
Yeah, you need your pen. Put amazing at the end for the husband and friends that he is to me.
Hold on.
Thanks very much.
I have Kathleen for John. We have that. We have to say.
Just put the amazing in there. And he needs to be deboned, apparently.
Well, that is not one of the services we provide here at the Best Podcast in the Universe.
Deboning service.
We are very sorry, but no, we just don't do that. However, we think it is a very beautiful gesture and just so lovely for spouses to do this for each other. Either way it flows. But I love that. I just love seeing. Send pictures. Girls?
In Beverly, Massachusetts, we have Jay Kumar, who I think is in a movie. And I have to read his note. He sent one in. He says, in episode 643, John mentioned the surprising amount of Indian culture he found in Victoria, BC. This is not a new development at all. As an Indian who was born in Toronto, I can tell you that there is a substantial Indian population in the major Canadian metropolitan areas, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. This is due to the Canadian government relaxing its immigration laws in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, leading to a wave of immigrants from all over the world, but especially from Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. There weren't a ton of Indians when I was a kid there in the 70s, but I was part of the first wave of the first generation kids of immigrants. Now I go back to Toronto every few years, and I'm always amazed at how multicultural it is. Plenty of Indians, Chiners, Africans, you name it, in the borough of Toronto. Anyway, he goes on. All right. Well, he says there's a fair amount of Sri Lankan gang violence in the Toronto area, if you can believe that. And in that infamous video, Toronto's fat, drunk mayor, Rob Ford, was smoking crack with Somalian gangbangers.
Some guys have all the luck.
There's a lot of action in Canada, apparently. So he sent that's a note. It's a handwritten note. Sorry, actually hand typed. Sir Zog of Elwood in Elwood, Illinois, 99.
I think we do have to read this one. I think there's a lot going on here. We have because of this, we have a new night on the scene as one is being dedicated for the...
Okay.
You want to hit this or what? Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I thought you were going to do it.
Oh, yeah. Last, Sir Zog of Elwood here, a little bit of a boner, but I'm going to get back on the donor train. Last year, my donations hit the amount to reach a baronet. I mentioned that in my note accompanying that donation, but it got missed in the show reads, so my title change never took effect. It does happen. Sorry. But it will be corrected. I've made some donations in the meantime, but I'm finally getting around to doing something about this. Since the title change was never actually recorded, I thought about doing something a little different. Tomorrow, August 24th, my son Alex turns 11. I'd like to pass what would have been a baronet upgrade to him as a knighthood. This is acceptable. Since I'm known by many of my associates as Zog, he has adopted the moniker Azog. Since the Hitler 999 is his favorite donation amount, I'm making this donation, which will carry forward towards my baronet, but would like to put the previous donation series towards his knighthood as Sir Azog, son of Sir Zog of Elwood. I promise we will rule the area southwest of Chicago with an iron fist for generations to come. As no agenda knights. And higher in peerage as resources permit. So I'd also like to add him as a birthday call-out, August 24th, as well as making him a knight if possible. We would prefer to celebrate with root beer and Legos.
Well, when that comes around, we'll put root beer and Legos on there. Creative Cretin in Los Angeles, California, $80, but it says, my name ain't baby, it's Janet. And then it has dash Justin.
Miss Justin if you're nasty. That's a cultural reference you will not understand.
Okay, well, explain it to me then.
No, it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Herb Lamb, 7777, Sex 7, to celebrate our 7th anniversary coming up. Sugar Hill, Georgia. And he thought the last two newsletters were hilarious. I should read that.
Did you see that the panda turned 1 today?
What panda?
The panda is a tremendous. It's not your fault, but I saw this morning in the news feed. The panda, I got it here. Washington's giant panda cub Bao Bao turned 1, and the picture of him is so cute.
I'll use it in the next newsletter.
He has a little birthday cake with a big candle on it, a big one. Yeah, it was
disgusting.
Perfect. Yeah, it was perfect.
Todd Troutman, 70, sack of 7, Sunnyvale, California. Stefan Christofouli. Christofouli.
I would say
Christofouli.
I would say Stephen instead of Stefan. I don't know.
Stephen. Christofouli in Mindane, Western Australia. Sack of 7s. Jason Daniels, Dallas, Texas. Sack of 7. Sam Lung in Toronto, Ontario. Sack of 7s. He did send a note in, and I don't have it in front of me. Rich, you have it?
I think I do.
Richard Riley. We'll read it after we're done. Yeah. Richard Riley, Loomis, California. 6660 is the only one of those. Robert Pinder in Springfield, Virginia. Double nickels on the dime, along with Charles Walters in Schaumburg, Illinois. Commonly comes in with the double nickels on the dime. Harm Veenstra. Harm Veenstra in Buri. And he wants to fuck cancer karma.
Yeah, we'll throw that in.
Charles Wall, I did him. Sir Kevin Payne in Chantilly, Virginia. Maxwell Thin in Seattle, Washington. $50.69 and $50.33 respectively. And then $50 donations from an anonymous source in Arlington, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's in Arlington, Virginia. We need more of those Arlington, Virginia donations, if you know what I mean. Christy Mitchie in Dallas, Texas. Macy Stolowski in Calgary, Alberta, I won't say. Jason Daniels in Dallas, Texas. T. Abel in Bergfield, Berkshire. And finally, Brandon Merrick in Tempe, Arizona. And our buddy Benjamin Smith over here, I'm waving right now at the window in Oakland, California. And that'll be our helpers, donors, contributors, producers, lesser producers, all from show 646.
Let me, here's the note. Here is the note from Sam Lueng, sir. Great Thursday show. Your analysis of the Foley and the Ferguson situation can only be described as top-notch. However, John almost pulled the wool over our eyes on the etymology of penalty and testimony. I'm sure astute listeners would already have pointed out that the Latin root for penalty is pionalis, for pain, not for penis. Well, I agree that John's etymology was more fun to listen to. I did wake up in the middle of the night going, really? Sometimes I wonder if you do that on purpose or not.
I know. I just say
strange man.
What I thought.
A correction from last from the Thursday show. Sir Sports Junk.
Oh yes,
is actually Sir Gary Leland.
Well,
the knight who says knee, and this does bring up a minor thing. When you use your PayPal, we use the information from the PayPal. Yes, you can put something in the notice to a recipient field. That is usually a way to get a message to us. It is usually the correct way to get a message to us. Interestingly, a lot of people don't seem to be able to find the note field. And there was a back office memo that came out that I don't agree with, but I think you're kind of all in on it, saying that we should mention that Eric the Shill is the person who you need to email for all things notes and donations.
And rings, not necessarily notes.
Well, noagendanation.com/rings is where you could, if you deserve one.
Yeah, but if you don't get your ring, you email shill at noagendanation.com, and he will, because all we do is send a note to him.
Right. Well, what I've seen is that I receive the most of these messages.
Well,
for a couple reasons. One, it's so easy to remember Adam@curry.com. It's just easy.
Yeah, well.
Half the people in the world, if you stopped them on the street, how do you spell Dvorak?
They get it wrong.
How do you spell divine? Ask someone that for a laugh.
There you have it.
For a laugh. So, of course, you can use john@curry.com, but then there's shill@noagendanation.com. It's just not sticking. People don't listen well.
But you should get a hold of Eric. Eric is a genius at customer service. He likes it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like, well, I don't want to disparage.
No, he likes it. He's very good.
But Mimi would do, she would basically, she used to be a waitress that used to tell customers to screw themselves.
In a cocktail bar?
And then kick them in the restaurant and then kick them in the leg. And meanwhile, Eric used to work in customer service. In fact, one of his first jobs was selling fish supplies or something in a local fish guy and a fish aquarium place. And then he worked at some other customers. He likes to do it. I mean, I don't think he likes it. Who could like that? But he's good at it. And so just get a hold of him and he'll take care of you. Because we have one guy going back and forth. He won't get me a ring. He won't email me. And Eric tells me, which Mimi used to always say, I've emailed the guy. Which a lot of people never pick up their email, or it gets filtered, or they don't care, or they don't notice it. I mean, it's like our newsletter. Only a few percentage get through. So,
so a couple of things while I'm saying this. One is I don't mind because I like email. I'm pretty good at it. I forward everything very loyally onto Eric. I run my own email server, so pretty much everything that is supposed to come through comes through. However, it is at your own risk. And do we have shill@noagendanation.com on the donation page so that people understand? You say customer service. Can we just have a link? That might be smart to do that. And it's okay if you copy John on it. But here's the things that will not work. Do not send anything to John. And it's,
what? These are lies.
You suck at email. I like you, man. You're my brother.
I read all my email.
You suck at email. You just suck at it. No, it's okay. Okay.
Insult. I'm taking.
I am not insulting you at all. I'm just stating a fact, and you don't have to be all huffy about it.
I'm huffy.
There's emails that I send you that you don't open. Oh, here it is. You are great at so many things, like harmonica.
Ha!
And
lies.
And the tube. You're great at the whiskey tube.
The tube is good. I'll take credit for the tube.
Yeah. And you're LIFO. You're LIFO. You have said yourself you're LIFO, and I'm not LIFO. Before the show, LIFO. Before the show, I make sure that I've gone through everything and I forward everything, and I really try.
All right.
You're good. You're good. You're pretty good at the checks. But how many times is the note on the other side of the room? I mean, it does happen. And by the way, we're not the NBC. We're a couple of Joes.
We're a couple of analysts.
With a podcast.
We're analysts. We're independent analysts.
No, we have a network of independent.
We have a network of
intelligence network. What was our? You wrote it down. See, but open your book.
We have we have a network of intelligence gatherers.
We had a whole sentence, and you said you would write it down, and that's your job as the archivist, and now you can't find that either.
It's in here.
I'm not. Anyway, so please, let's put that on the donation page.
Yeah, you know what? That's genius.
And I'm going to put it in the show notes. I will put a big link, which will replicate. It will say customer service. And Eric, you asked for it. Because you don't
won't get any more letters than he normally gets.
Okay. Well, you know my stance on email, and when people,
you'll probably still get the same ones because it's easy. Like you said,
it's easy. It's easy.
Very easy to remember. Adam@curry.com. CURRY.
That's exactly it.
.com.
That's it.
Very easy to remember.
That's it. John@curry.com works, but don't expect anything.
It's not as easy to remember. Adam is the first. It's Adam. Adam and Eve is the first thing in the Bible.
It's like you butt dial, you call me. It's always Adam. I'm at the top of the butt dial list.
Yeah, you get butted a lot.
Mm-hmm. So don't take it personally.
I have another letter, since we're on this segment, from Hari Hullur, Hullur, Hullur or something. I'm not sure, but he's from Kitchener, Ontario. Again, about the Indians. I just want to get this out of the way. Just wanted to chip in the email from that guy Karthik was spot on. Brampton and Surrey are by no means the only Punjabi-heavy communities, but they are definitely two big ones. One correction about that email before that, I believe that to be true. It's awkwardly worded, about the demand for physicians way back in the day, and going through Canada was the easy way to get to the U.S. However, today the reverse is actually easier. I'm a medical student who left home to go to med school, and most of my Canadian classmates, and there are a lot of us, many Canadians actually leave the country to go to med school, aim for the U.S. to do their residencies because the U.S. is actually less competitive than Canada when it comes to residency spots for foreign graduates, even if you are a Canadian studying abroad like myself. What you guys discussed may have been the case many years ago, but just thought I'd drop a line about the current state of affairs.
Well, thank you for that. And still receive no donations from Indians.
Yes, this is true. and I have some clips that I got in abeyance talking about this issue.
John, I've got birthdays to do. I have knightings to do.
Well, let me just read one more. No, go on. Take it.
And I have
We're running out of time.
I have the final. I have the final sequence of karma, of course.
Bingo, boom, boom, chakalaka, boom, 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 chakalaka, boom, boom.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
There we go. There you go. We will be doing another show on Monday. It will be interesting to see if I make it at all because, of course,
we're going to be doing a show on Monday.
What did I say? I'm flying to Amsterdam on Monday. The show on Thursday. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I'm confused. I'm worried because I'm supposed to fly tomorrow, and we have the ash crisis coming up again. So who knows what's going to happen? So support us at
Dvorak.org/NA.
Happy birthday! Celebrating today to Denman, big supporter and fan of the program. And of course, he has his own podcast and blog you might want to check out. Jim Boreth turned 53 on the 22nd. Happy birthday to you. Sir Zog of Elwood says happy birthday to his son, Alex, who will be knighting in a moment. He turns 11 today. Marvin Lee Britton says, hello, Peggy baby. Her birthday today and all that other stuff as we hook him up with Kathleen Heineman, who is congratulating her husband, John. Amazing, she says. Also celebrating today, and we're going to see if we can hook those two up. Happy birthday from all your friends and the entire staff of management and back office and customer service of the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
Then we have Jim. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 knightings today, my friend. 3 knightings. Let me grab my sword, which I use my right hand for, never the left, ever.
Hold on, this thing's stuck. It's stuck. Here it comes. It's giving way.
There you go. Finally. All right. Jim Boreth, step forward. Ed Farrell, come on down. And Alex Zog, would you please send... Well, here he is. Here's your son, Alex. Very good. Gentlemen, all 3 of you have contributed to the best podcast in the universe in the appropriate amount, and therefore we bring you into the table of the knights and the dames and pronounce the Sir Jacko, Sir Ed Farrell, and Sir Azog, son of Sir Zog of Elwood. Gents, for you, root beer and Legos, ass cream with bear fillings, girlfriend experience and good bourbon, porn stars and pot, I'm running out, bad science and perky breasts. Bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, mutton and meat. Of course, we have the hookers and blowing the rent boys and Chardonnay. It's all there for you.
That was a new one at the end.
And if you go to, I had root beer and Legos. And if you go to noagendanation.com/rings, that's where you can submit all your information and your ring will come to you post haste, courtesy of the back office and the best podcast in the universe. Good. I'm sorry I took up a lot of time.
You had too many. You had 3 deconstructions today instead of the normal 1.
But I only had 2. What was the 3?
Maybe you didn't.
It felt like 3. Oh, no, I had self-moral licensing.
That was the long one. That was long. And then the other one was long, too. They were both long.
You know what? That's what we can do.
Well, I know, but I didn't get to do my... I got another Ebola report.
And you got mac and cheese.
We can't do the Ebola is going to get pushed off because it's not that topical, and it's. I know no one's going to come up with this, so I'm going to hold it in abeyance. And it's also long. It's going to be long because look at the length of these clips. But mac and cheese, tomorrow's mac and cheese day, and everyone wants to hear my analysis. There's no analysis of the mac and cheese day. I just have 2 clips.
People are very excited about it.
I have 3 clips. Well, I mean, I did the good clips already, but I thought that this was interesting. This is a mac and cheese. There are a lot of recipes online for mac and cheese. Nobody knows how to cook online. I've come to the conclusion that all these people that cook, they have their little cooking shows. They show you how to cook. They can't cook. None of these people can cook. But they all think they can, and they decided to put up YouTube videos. So let's play mac and cheese, oddball cheese, WTF clip.
Okay, you guys, to me, nothing says American like mac and cheese. The classic American dish with the classic old school cheese, Wisconsin Gruyere.
What?
No, it's supposed to be Velveeta.
Well, it's supposed to be cheap cheddar, but how do you get the classic, and then you have Gruyere as the cheese? This isn't mac and cheese. So that guy was...
Hold on a second. Let me listen to the recipe again.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese. Cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese. Cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
That's it. That's all you need. You can put a little butter in if you want. You can put some cream if you want to pat it. But no, that's all there is to it. There's not a bunch of complexity. Play mac and cheese or the Mac Amazing clip, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, it's Ingrid, and today I'm really excited because guess what we're making? Bacon, macaroni and cheese, and it's gonna be awesome. Macaroni and cheese is one of my favorites. It's a classic, and we're gonna be putting a spin on it today because this recipe does not require you to pre-cook the pasta, which is amazing. Oh my God, that is amazing!
You don't have to cook the pasta. You just crunch it. It's crunchy. Mac and cheese.
I rescind. I repent. This is a great segment. This is good. I didn't realize you were grabbing clips of morons who are who think they know what they're doing. In preparation for the show, someone had sent me, if you can recall, a while back, I'm talking previous house last year, a big time full-on box of Kraft mac and cheese, instant mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Then it's a big blue box and there's 800 packets in there. With Miss Mickey out of town, and I was just doing stuff. I'm going to make one of these.
Oh, you should. You should. You'll be so.
I did.
Oh, how was it?
I want to tell you about the experience.
Yeah, I want to hear.
There's 3 steps on the packaging, and there's each package is a cellophane wrapped, and in one part is what I think is macaroni. It's hardened. Look like plastified elbows, things.
Elbows.
Right. Yeah. And then there's another packet which has the instructions on it. And there's a packet as one of these silver foil on the inside, just writing on the outside.
The flavorings.
No, that is the cheese mix.
Oh, okay, the whole thing.
Uh-huh. And the instructions say first you take 3/4 of a cup of water and add that to these things that are apparently macaroni.
Yes.
And you put that in the microwave for 3.5 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Or until the macaroni...
You can't boil this on a stovetop? Because I don't use microwaves.
I'm giving you the instructions. I'm a rule follower.
Yeah.
After 3 minutes, I checked and I felt they were al dente, which was the way I like my mac and cheese.
Huh.
And then it says, if there's excess water, in big letters, do not remove the excess water. You will need this to make the cheese.
Yes, that would make sense.
And so you pour the packet in.
Uh-huh.
Then you stir, and miraculously...
Voila.
I actually said, voila, mac and cheese. Now, we had a couple guys who had to repaint something in the house. The landlord had sent him by. And they looked at me. So I'm doing this. I'm finishing this up, but they're walking. These Mexican guys. They looked at me and went, "Are you fucking crazy? Are you going to eat that shit?"
Two Mexican workers said this to you.
Yes, they said, "You don't eat that, man." And of course I did because
do not eat that, man. Sorry,
man. Do not eat. Man, you okay? Hey, man, we take you out for some tacos. Don't eat that, man. Don't eat that. We'll pay. And I ate it.
Yes.
And it had such a chemical taste.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when you finish it, and the bowl will not clean.
Oh, it's like a glue.
And it's more like a paint.
Like a paint. You ate paint.
Paint. So that was it. This is not an outstanding product. It is not to be consumed by human beings or anything with a heart.
Yeah, it'll probably take you a month to get that out of your system.
I got an email.
Drink a lot of wine, that'll help.
I got an email about your question of the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This has now been confirmed by multiple sources that this is indeed a black thing. This is where it started. But this is from John Calvin Jones, who I've been conversing with for a long time. I had no idea what color his skin was, or it will be, and I never cared. Adam just finished listening to NA Show 645. My father, born in 1928, always made macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving from scratch. He used sharp cheddar only, no Velveeta. That is not cheese. I do not think that it was a depression issue. His father was a professor and a college president, but I imagine that it was a standard for Sundays when my father's mother, Vivian, and 5 of her siblings and the children would meet and have a potluck after church. I'm guessing it was a good dish for one of the aunties to give the kids and a cheap way to feed about 8 instead of baking another ham or chicken. And then, like I said, yes, but you're not answering the question, are you black? And he says, yes, sorry if my references were too subtle. My father's maternal grandfather was born a slave in the early 1860s in the United States. They were in South Carolina, North Carolina. By the 1950s, migrated to New York City, Gary, Indiana, and Los Angeles. So yes, we are. And my father's cooking was Southern soul food. And yes, this is a black thing for Thanksgiving. And but not cooked shit. It is done with great pride and secret recipes, family recipes that date back to the days of slavery.
Well, okay.
And I'm going to be asking my black friends in Austin.
I would like to ask him to give us the seasoning.
The secret recipe. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Not going to hurt. There are people that like mac and cheese. Apparently, a lot of them are black.
Not from the Kraft.
No. Right. That's never going to be good.
One more clip here from the...
Well, there's the second half of the clip with this dingbat chick, and so we might as well play it.
So I have the ingredients here. We are going to be using some milk, cottage cheese, grated cheddar cheese, brown rice pasta, but feel free to use whatever pasta you like. I just really like brown rice pasta, some cayenne pepper, regular salt and pepper, ground mustard, nutmeg, and some butter, and of course the star, bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, anyway, so tomorrow's mac and cheese day. You can go online, go to the YouTube, and you can find a million recipes for mac and cheese. All of them are just flaky, and they're over-seasoned, and they're trying to make something fancy out of which it should be cheap cheddar and elbow macaroni. That's that.
Living the mac and cheese life. Mac and Cheese by Ayn Rand.
I don't really have any more.
I have a clip to kind of play us out because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I don't have a play out clip.
And I have the ash crisis.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun for you. Now, you were poo-pooing this in the last show.
I was.
Oh, it's bull crap. This is bull crap. Now, you were just wishful thinking poo-pooing it the way I see it now.
It's still bull crap.
You're going to be stuck.
It's still bull crap.
You'll see.
No, I'm not saying that I won't be stuck. But it's bullcrap because there's nothing exploding. It's just,
Scientists from the Icelandic Met Office have been carefully monitoring the volcano Bada Bunga from the air.
Wait, the Bunga Bunga?
The volcano.
What is this volcano's name?
The Bunga Bunga.
It's the Bunga Bunga?
Scientists from the Icelandic Met Office have been carefully monitoring the volcano Bada Bunga from the air.
Bunga Bunga.
The ice
Bada Bunga.
Bingo, boom, shakalaka.
Bada Bunga.
Of the glacier may look deceptively calm, but beneath the glacier, the earth is moving and lava has started erupting.
Yeah, so this is exactly what our producer said. Isn't bullcrap? You can't see it, but it's happening. I have thoughts about this.
If the lava reaches the surface, it can send huge ash clouds high into the atmosphere.
Ash clouds.
Iceland has issued an alert for the aviation industry.
The current aviation color code of Barabunga is red.
The current aviation cloud for Barabunga is red. I don't need to know anymore. I'm frightened to death.
Yeah, you should be.
This is what is happening. This needs to be seen in relation to Ukraine and Russia and jets flying around. This is a takeover. There's a need, a necessity for control of European airspace. We don't know why yet. We don't know why, but this is being used just like the last time.
Well, then I do have a clip to take us out on something a little lighter.
Well, you're not flying tomorrow.
It's a 15-second commercial with Johnny Bench promoting Blue Emu, and I've never heard a commercial in my life with this particular kicker.
I've used Blue Emu for over 10 years now. It's made with real emu oil. It's a non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula that works itself down into my joints. And for all those hard-to-reach aches and pains, now there's Blue Emu Pain Relief Spray. Take it from me. It works fast and you won't stink.
We need a jingle. The No Agenda Show. I can't even say it. The No Agenda Show. Best podcast in the universe. And you won't stink.
Yes.
You hurt me.
Advertising.
You hurt me. Oh, my joints hurt. I need some Blue Emus. Do you think that there's other forms of Blue Emu?
I assume that some of them make you stink, and this was the high point. Making us learn this lesson.
Oh, thank you. That was very funny. It worked for me.
Good. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. I don't have to get all annoyed.
We got our laugh in.
We did. Well, I had nothing but laughs. I love
it. The whole show is a comedy show.
If you notice, I do put the comedy tag in iTunes.
I know. That's funny.
Somehow we're not really receiving the accolades we deserve, but okay, it's what it is. Thank you all very much for...
Those guys laugh at beheadings.
Douchebag a-holes, not funny a-holes, horrible people, horrible people. Whew. All right. Thank you all very much for contributing. Miss Meek and I flying to the lowlands of Amsterdam, where she will ask the question,
why am I married to this guy?
And we are good. We are the Laurel and Hardy of podcasting. Coming to you from FEMA Region 6 in the capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. My name is Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's foggy again, which is California weather, by the way, especially up here. I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Thursday, if everything goes according to plan, right here on No Agenda.
I'm Joe Biden, and thank you for taking the time to listen.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA.